Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody out there? Happy Friday night, Friday the 13th. I hope nothing unlucky happened to anybody out there. We're back here with you guys another Friday night. We got a great topic tonight. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I think we just researched this about 2 minutes ago, so we should know all about this for you. I'm just kidding. I think all these knowledgeable folks right here are going to know about everything you could ever possibly want to know about all these cool topics. It's going to be a great time. And like I said, we got a lot lined up for you. As always, we coming in here, we've got LW. I like to call him the mouth of Houston. I don't think he likes it, but that is what I'm going to call him from now on. Gutters Pub in here as well. Good to see you, Gutters. And we got KJ, the world-renowned, studio recording artist in here joining us tonight, as long as Baker as well. Back to see us again. So good to see everybody out there. LW, Gutters, KJ, Baker, say hi to everybody if you'd like to.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Friday night show. Another week gone by. Looking forward to these topics. Fun stuff. Fun topics.
Yeah.
Gutters.
Good evening, y'all. We'll see what we can roll out here for you. We'll see. It'll be fun, regardless.
Hey guys, Friday the 13th. Woo woo. My favorite number, but whatever. It's gonna be a fun night. So yeah.
Friday the 13th, and we get drug into another war. Oh, hey everybody. How you doing?
Good old war.
What's up with that? We got war starting again. Is that what's going on now?
I mean, that's what it looks like to me.
Oh boy.
I mean, when I throw missiles at people, I'm doing it for a reason.
Yeah, that's always good. I haven't even paid any attention. I'll be honest. I don't even really know what's going on. I haven't paid much attention to it at all. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. Anybody else, anything fun, exciting? Or go on if you got something to say about it. Go right ahead.
I was just going to say my favorite part of today was watching all the people who've been demanding and clamoring for war with Iran. Somehow they're upset today that Iran fired missiles back. So it's just kind of strange. You want war, and then you get mad at war type stuff. It's kind of hilarious.
Well, what is going on? Like, I'll be totally honest. I haven't paid any attention. I was, looking into secret societies instead of watching that go on. So, what's the update?
Baker, you want to go? Or you want me to go?
Let's see. Israel said, don't nuke us. And then Iran says, no, we nuke you. And then Israel took that offensively. And then they launched missiles. That's about the gist of it.
So is Iran, have they struck Israel?
Oh, multiple times. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, to all joking aside, Israel's the one that launched the attacks first. Whether or not they were provoked by some kind of intelligence, I have no idea. But they did it first, and then of course Iran retaliated. And then what's interesting about this, I'm not trying to start a conspiracy or nothing, but U.S. troops were moving the hell away from the region. Also, all of the families and diplomats were also being told a couple days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, to get the fuck out. Get the heck out. So I don't know. You tell me. So I think this was planned.
Yeah, Israel was saying that they confirmed that Iran was 2 days away from completing their nuclear program, which, of course, there was no proof of other than them saying it. But, hey, let the bombs fly, I guess.
Yeah, 2 days away. That seems a little odd, but, I always trust everything the government tells me. I'm good and trained, That's about how I do that.
I've said this once and I'll say it again. If anybody can tell me one time the government never lied to us, you're not going to get anything except a gattaboy.
Yeah.
You saying the one time they never lied?
Yeah, just name one time the government didn't lie to us.
Right, exactly. It always does seem to happen.
Yeah.
But take this thing in your arm. Do this, do that. It's all good for you. Everything's going to be great.
Might have been one of these societies we're going to talk about that had.
It could be. You never know.
Never know.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So you never know what's really going on there.
You muted.
So what else we got? Any funny stories? Anybody's?
Yeah, I don't know. Did y'all see? Okay, I got a couple stories. You see that one? It was the Instagram girl. I really don't want to play it because I mean she dies in it. But you see where she was going parasailing and she got up there and had a panic attack and took her seatbelt off and fell out like while live
No.
streaming. She got up there and she's like started having a panic attack and took her seatbelt, her buckle thing into the parasailing thing, and just
Oh
just
my
fell
God.
out of the
What the
damn
hell
thing.
did she think was going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, I would have panicked more if my seatbelt was off than if it was on,
Oh my God.
And then there was the other one. Did you see the thing with the two YouTubers? I guess they had a beef. It was they were both like in the one. It was two black people, and they had some kind of beef over something. And so the one was live streaming there in
Vegas.
Vegas in front of the fountains there, and the other guy just walked right up to him and filled him full of lead while the guy was live streaming over a YouTube argument.
He did the killer did a live YouTube video driving around Vegas telling him he's looking for him, and he found him.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I seen that. It was kind of weird because the wife, it was really weird where she was at. And I don't know if you've seen the two videos set up together, where the one where they showed her and then the other one that he had actually set up the camera and basically seen himself, or got himself situated to where when the guy come walking by, he caught his own murder where he
it's
set his
insane.
camera.
It's absolutely insane. I couldn't imagine people killing each other over a stupid YouTube argument. I mean, how dumb is that?
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
Hey, we got you back there,
Right.
KJ.
No, sorry. So, by the way, I did want to comment on the girl parasailing. That was horrible.
Did you see it?
Oh, well, I didn't see the whole thing. Thank goodness. No. But yeah, I saw the part where she was unbuckling herself and she was like 19 years old.
Wow.
Well,
it
fortunately,
was
you didn't
super-
get to see her hit the ground
No.
because she had the thing mounted to the parasail that she fell out of. So yeah, the whole thing wasn't, but yeah, she just went flying away.
No, did you see it?
I mean, you can't see when she hits the ground or the water, whatever the hell she was over, but I saw the video of her unbuckling her, her restraints.
It would just be
whatever.
interesting to know what was going on. Like, was she on something, or do you know what I mean? Like something to make her. That to me wasn't just a panic attack.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been parasailing, so maybe
I
maybe
have.
Okay.
Yeah, myself and my husband. I mean,
I've seen people do weird shit though when they've panicked, like run out in front of traffic, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? I mean,
really?
yeah, just panic.
Yeah.
Not know where to go, not know what to do.
Well, luckily I haven't done that, but
Yeah, that'd freak
yeah,
me.
that's crazy. But parasailing, I mean, unless I saw Jaws down below, then I wouldn't want to take it off and go faster. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mhm.
Super,
Well, I mean, you
super
you
sad.
kind of know just to unbuckle, and I mean that's like the worst thing you can do if you're paying. I mean, you would
That
wanna
would
hang
take-
on for your life.
Seriously, that was crazy. That was super sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel. Sad.
Anyway,
There was another
sorry.
one too. I might be able to find this. This was actually pretty crazy. Let me see if I can.
What's the stat? I believe a while back I saw that on average 250 people die in America while filming for social media. Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
No.
someone got hit by a train making a video. Sorry.
The whole social media thing has gotten so bad. Like even when I go on trips to try to relax, maybe it's a beach, maybe it's some scenic mountain area. If I'm going hiking, I have to deal with these people and their selfie sticks stopping every damn 10 feet. It just gets on my nerves. Get off my lawn.
Get off.
Sorry, I'm grumpy about it. It's just annoying. It's like live in the moment.
Yeah.
Stop living through your lens. All you're going to remember is that time you took that picture. Stop.
Well,
Yeah,
how
but-
many pictures can you have on your phone? 8,000?
It's just this is when I miss the times before phones became a thing. It's like you go and you enjoy vacation, you enjoy people's company, and then you go on these vacations, and really all it is just a way to document it through your phone. You're not even living in the moment. You're just kind of just, I don't know, making memories through your phone.
Check this out right here. This was pretty insane. These kids were playing in a bouncy house. Watch this. The wind blows.
That's terrifying.
See the kids
It is.
falling out.
That
Watch.
is truly terrifying.
Yep. Kid falls right out.
Well, I hope that kid's all right. Jeez.
I know. I think he is.
I know.
I mean, that's pretty far though.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh, yeah.
long fall.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy right there.
Oh, that gives me a panic attack seeing children fall out of that thing.
Yeah, and they said it was like, done right and everything like that, but the wind was so bad it pulled it up. I don't know. Pretty crazy.
It's probably, around Kansas, where the winds get so crazy because it's so flat.
You think that kid's name was Dorothy?
No,
Oh, bad joke.
Oh,
I'm gonna let you sit in that one.
But I appreciate it.
He's not even a cover for you.
I do appreciate that. Well, let me say hey to a few people real quick before we jump into this. I think that's probably smart to do. Who we got in here? Gumby, Karen from HR, Noel Squad. What's up, TK Skates? Good to see you, TK. Who else we got in here? Matt Dummett, Kentucky Blue Balls. Good to see you. Dozer, Vic2 Production. Good to see you guys. Mishka's in here. The Maven. What's up, Maven? Callie Lisa. Curator in here. Bulldog JC. Curator, I need to get up with you. I saw your thing. I lost service before I could respond. But yeah, I'll get up with you through the fix. Who we got? Arby in here. What's up, Arby? Good to see you, man. Who else we have? What does this one say? Channel something Omega. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Don't know how to pronounce that. Maui Howie, what's up? We got Nils in here. Good to see you, Nils. B Bean, what's going on? B Bean. Let's see if I'm skipping over anybody. Sorry about that. Jerry Wells, good to see you, Jerry Wells. SO, what's up? Let's see. Callie Lisa's in here. Good to see you. D Taylor, VicTube, what's going on? So yeah, we got fun stuff to get into tonight. I don't know when you want to go on ahead and dive into it and see what the hell happens, or what you thinking?
Yeah, I think you've got some cool stuff about the Knights Templar to start it off.
Yeah, I got some cool stuff there. I do. I'm going to skim over the Knights Templar because I do want to do a whole episode about it, so I don't want to deep dive in it too much. Okay. I think it does kind of deserve its own episode overall. But I guess we could jump right in. You guys ready to go? Anybody else got any other fun news stuff or anything like that you want to talk about or anything? Funny stories before we do this?
I think we're ready to roll.
All right. Well, let's rock and roll. We're going ahead and bring this up. LW, you want to switch the thing over to video or a little picture there?
Sure.
And we'll add this up there. We'll start out with the Knights Templar. So yeah, here we go. I'll go first. Everybody's done a little bit of research here, so we're going to jump into this and try to do this as well as we can. I think it's going to be pretty fun. So, Knights Templar, I mean, that's pretty much the most legendary society. Most things stem off of it from everywhere. They were warriors, monks, bankers, and, keepers of secrets, as a lot of people like to say. So it started in 1119. So it was there in the Holy Land right after the Crusades. They had been in there. They'd captured Jerusalem, but the Christians, that were pilgriming back and forth on their journeys, were having a tough time doing that. So I want to get this name right. It's Hugh de Pion's. Hugh de Pion's, I think is how you say it. I'm not sure. I'm not French, and I don't speak very well in French. But he was a French knight, and he founded the Knights Templar, little people. So what they would do is they would protect the pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem back and forth. They're originally the poor fellow soldiers of Christ in the Temple of Solomon. The reason they were called the Templar, where they got that nickname, is they were based on the Temple Mount. So there's a quick summary on that. They weren't just bodyguards, though. They did become a medieval powerhouse. They pledged to poverty, chastity, and obedience. So basically, they were like warrior monks, and they were very skilled in combat and, did a really good job doing what they're doing. They wore the red and white cross. That was their symbol. All the popes and the kings, they became showering them with privileges. They didn't have to pay taxes. They only had to answer to the Pope. No kings, no anything like that. All they had to do was answer to the Pope, which, made you pretty powerful at that point. So like noblemen, they would donate land and money to them, and they became absolutely filthy rich. So then they actually developed the first banking system. So what they would do, like the Pilgrims, they could deposit their money at one Templar, banking base, and when they would get to the next one, they would give like a voucher. And so then when they would get to the next one, they could turn their vouchers in and be paid there. So they weren't having to travel and get robbed with their stuff. So, and they even started lending, it was basically traveler's checks. I guess you could look at it like that. So they even became so rich that kings were coming to them to fund their wars, and they were loaning money to the kings of these countries, which, you could see where that would go. So by the 13th century, they were basically the most powerful organization in the world, from all the way from London to Jerusalem, like pretty much taking over the whole world. So where do we go from there? The Templars, they were like elite fighters in the Crusades. They built massive castles all over. They, won epic battles against the Muslim forces, and, it just earned them the highest things. But by the end of the Crusades and the failing, and the Holy Land was lost in 1291, the Templars' main purpose, protecting pilgrims, started to fade. So without a clear mission, their wealth and secrecy made them targets. Basically, they were an army without a country, the most powerful army in the world without a country. So, here we go. Enter King Philip IV of France. So he was deeply involved, so much money from them for fighting his wars with England and stuff like that. Here we go with Friday the 13th. On Friday the 13th in 1307, Philip ordered the arrest of hundreds of Templars all the way across France, accused them of heresy, devil worship, and other wild charges, where they were tortured into giving their confessions. So that is where Friday the 13th superstition comes from. That is a, pretty well thought. There's other theories as well, but that's what most people think that goes back to, is Friday the 13th being that about the Knights Templar. So the Pope, being pressured, dissolved the order in 1312. And Jacques de Molay, I guess that's how you say it, Jacques de Molay, he was burned at the stake. He was like one of the leading Templars, like the Grand Master of the Templar. He was burned at the stake in 1314 and cursed Philip and the Pope as he died. Both died within a year. So there the Templars were gone, but their legend lived on. They were like, were they guarding secrets like the Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant? Did they hide treasures out there? From, Dan Brown's novels to Assassin's Creed, the Templars, fuel endless conspiracies. All historians, they look at that. They pioneered banking, built epic fortresses, and shaped medieval Europe. So, Knights Templar, they were more than just knights. They were a medieval phenomenon, blending faith, war, and finance. Their rise and brutal fall remind us how power and envy can rewrite history. Now, a lot of other things are pretty cool about them. And like I said, I do want to do a whole episode on the Knights Templar. But like even Christopher Columbus, he was sailing under a Templar flag. It's spread out. It's spread out a whole ways. And, the next one we're going to talk on, we can talk about the Templars. I'm sure everybody has something to say. But, a lot of people say that, in the 18th century, I know we're going to move on to this next, but Freemasonry has a lot of symbols from the Templars. They didn't just disappear. They didn't all die. The day when they all got seized and taken by the king, all their ships, all their stuff loaded up except for those people and disappeared. Nobody ever knew what happened to them. Nobody ever knew. It just disappeared. So everything was just said to have been lost, but they went somewhere with mass treasures, the wealth of the world. They disappeared with it. Where did they go? So there's a quick summary of it. What do y'all got to say about that?
Well, I think you'll find that a common thing in all the subjects we talk about, like how the kings and the governments would go to them for funding because they were so rich. And it's just the same stuff today with, quote unquote, the elites and how much control they have. And that's something I think everybody will tap into. It's a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting how all of this is woven together. And, did people put those, did people connect the dots on that? I don't know. Maybe we're the first ones doing it. Who knows? But yeah, like L-Dub said, it's interesting how we're going to sound like we're going to regurgitate the same story over and over and over again, but it's all how it is.
Right. Indeed.
Right. Exactly. KJ, Gutters, you got anything to add to that?
I mean, it was super cool to read into that because I never even heard of the Knight Templar. However, and I was saying Templar. I don't know why. Anyway,
It
but
probably is Templar. I'm just coming out being a
It is.
South Florida redneck, in me.
well, the movies, growing up, all the movie, like you see that symbol, and I never really knew what it represented. So it was really cool to dig in and then crazy burn at the stake and all that heavy stuff. It's super, super interesting. And I think you're right. I think you could talk about it the whole time because it's the beginning of what it seems, the secret societies for sure.
Yeah, and it deserves a whole episode in itself, which I really want to do because I'm fascinated with the Templar Knights, Templars. I am fascinated with them, and getting to that, I do want to do like a whole episode on that. I think that'd be fascinating.
Yeah, and it goes over like hundreds of years. I mean, there's just so much to peel back on it.
Now, do you think that they were like a strong arm of the government, or do you think that they were a shadow government themselves?
Shadow government.
Shadow, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because they weren't beholden to any certain country or anything. They had, everybody was coming to them, all those kings, they were richer than all those countries combined. They were indebted to them. Like King Philip, they wouldn't loan him any more money. They were like, no, you have no more collateral. You have nothing to be able to do. So that I think they were tipped off, and a lot of them just fled and got out of there, and they captured a whole lot of them and tortured them and made them, and a lot. You'll admit to a lot when you're being tortured. So,
Right.
I mean, not me.
Like, no,
I don't remember. I never remember my safe word.
Wow.
Johnny
I was
Walnut.
not even, oh my gosh. You always have to remember your safe word.
That's right. That's why
I
you
didn't
make
even go
it
through my
easy.
slides here. I was doing this. I actually had slides up for that, and I forgot to click them. Maybe I should, but
You were on
yeah.
a roll. I was letting you do it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
man. Sorry, I was just trying to get it all out there. Once you get flowing, you just got to keep going. And this, I'm
That's
rhyming
good.
now.
You're the
Rhyming now.
best like MC of this thing, so you got my respect.
All right, there you go.
Okay, well, yeah, because mine's
Go
about
on.
like half that time and half that information, probably. But it's definitely regarding Freemasons and their whole. I didn't realize because I was afraid to delve into any of the other parts once we took our own parts. I tried to stay away from the others because I knew they were going to take me down another rabbit hole. And the Freemasons is a big enough hole of its own. I mean, there's a lot to it. I never realized. And I mean, so for me, that was a big thing. So there, and the other thing was that I noticed through your research versus my research, there was definitely a little bit of a difference in this is kind of what I think is cool about research is how everybody finds their own little line of where they're going to go to research stuff and where they come up with their dates and times and all those things. I think it's kind of cool how we can all come up with different information even regarding the same subject. So yeah, did you
Right. And like Mrs. Mack says here, Mrs. Mack, thank you very much for the $10 super chat too. By the way, really do appreciate you. Things like that help us, keep all this stuff going.
Right.
So thank you so much, Mrs. Mack. She says, where did they go? And that's the thing. Nobody knows really where they did go. And there's so much, like I said, I don't want to go too much into Templar because I do want to do a whole episode on it. But, Columbus sailed under Templar flags. He was related. There's a lot of evidence even up north. Even in North America, there's Templar markings that have been found and, things that shouldn't be here. There's, what was that one, Oak Island, where they're still looking for the, treasures, the Templar treasure, all this stuff like that. There's so many different conspiracy theories there to dive into. That'll be so much fun to do a whole episode on that. But so we'll find out, Mrs. Mack. We will find out. We'll do it all together. That'll be the fun of it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
super
definitely going
cool.
down rabbit holes. I mean, it's hard to back out of them.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I mean, I was up late a lot trying to just go through it all. And like I said, I would start down another area. Like if I couldn't even go near the other subjects because I knew it was just going to lead me down another track. And then I'd be off of Freemasons and on to Skull and Bones or whatever, the Illuminati or who knows what. So yeah, there's a lot to it. And I think with the Freemasons, that's the one thing that it almost seems like a bigger subject. Like the other ones seem very formal, but I haven't dug into them, and maybe I'm totally wrong on that. But Freemason seems like an overall thing. Is it? I mean, I don't know. Just from everything I got from it.
Well, do you want to proceed then, Gutters?
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah.
like you're ready.
So the part that they
Thanks again, Mrs. Mack. Really appreciate you. Take it away.
yes.
Gutters.
So they did. They actually Freemasons came from what I can gather from basically the Grand Lodge of England, and they in like 1777 is when it sounds like they kind of come about, and they are famous for their whole rituals and handshakes and those things. And of course, one of their mottos is taking men and making them better, because that's kind of what their big thing is. They aren't big into religion, so to speak. Like that's not their thing. It's more about morals and doing well for their brother and that sort of thing. So and bettering themselves as well. And it's also not about politics. They kind of don't. They seem like they don't want to be much into the political side of it, even though we'll get into the fact that there's a lot of political people and religious people in the Freemasons. So they are a fraternal organization, though, and they came from actually. Even though they came from the medieval times regarding stone masonry, that wasn't really. I mean, that isn't where they led. I mean, yes, they do. They were carpenters, and they did do things that were that helping people and so on and so forth. And that is where it all started from, was the carpenters, but or masonries. But that wasn't their whole. That isn't where it kind of led them. It led them into being better people and to serving others. And they focused on self-improvement and charitable work and social fellowship. And they believed in, or they still do, obviously, believe in a supreme being. And they just try to strive to do better. However, there are other avenues to the whole Freemasons. And a lot of people say there's the whole Saint. How do you say it? Say it for me, somebody. Satan side of it.
Satanic.
Yes, satanic. Thank you. But in all reality, they seem to really just want to do better for others, even though there are the conspiracy theories that they are somewhat have some evil sides to them. So, which scared the hell out of me. I have to tell you, as I went down that path, it scared me a little bit as I dug into it probably a little deeper than I planned, all the way up to what they call the 33rd degree. And that was a little scary for me. Because there are a lot of things I do believe in, and it definitely made me rethink my own life and my own world, and where I come from and where I should be going. And so yeah, that's kind of what I got out of a lot of the Freemasons. Of course, I didn't delve into it quite as big as Bulls did in their history and all of that. So I definitely didn't do it as justice as well. But that was kind of without going too much into the other parts that I got into, which were the whole satanic part of it. I will just stick with the nice parts of it. So yeah.
I mean, that's what it's more of a brotherhood. You're right. I mean, that's really what I got from, what I read about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you did, you did them justice.
Well, thank you, but
Yeah.
I know I could have dug into a lot more of the, like I said, it's there. Once you start to scroll down one side of it, pretty soon you're going down 15 different rows, and you don't even. I have like note after note after note. It just goes on and on. So yeah.
Well, and I always want to make sure see, you never know what you're watching or reading. You want to make sure it's, legit.
Yep.
So yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Sounds to me like they got to her.
It did.
I think she's at level 31 as we speak.
No. Oh. No, they're. I ain't even going past level 2.
Now, my mom told me when she was young, my grandpa got invited to one of these like get-togethers or whatever they're called. But he came back and he said, "I'm never going again, and I'm not going to talk about it ever again." So I don't know what he saw or heard, but he did not like it.
Yeah.
Well, I see that sign sometimes, when you drive past a building, you see it. So it's interesting.
When I was young, I had a friend that she was in Job's Daughters. And I used to tell my mom, "I think that's a cult, Mom." And she's like, "Oh, it is not." And I'm like, "I think it is." And she's like, "Oh, Jen wouldn't send her daughter to a cult. And Helen, her grandmother, definitely wouldn't." I'm like, "No, Mom, they do weird stuff. Barbie told me about some of the stuff they do, and it's weird. And no way. It's a cult, Mom." And I mean, she did tell me. I can remember I was pretty young, probably, I don't know, 12 or 13 maybe. But they did some weird stuff. Their whole chanting and all, I was like, no way. I've seen really creepy movies just like that. No, I don't want to go. So, and she had to be invited, and you only got to be like, I would have never been invited because I had too big a mouth.
Well, that reminds me of the Swiftie cult, and I am not a part of that. I just want to let everyone know that right now.
Like an admission to me.
Yeah, you do know. You heard KJ say earlier that she said her favorite number was 13. You know who else's favorite number is 13?
Yeah.
Who?
Taylor Swift.
Why do you know that?
I know.
I don't know that.
I host trivia nights 3 nights a week. I know.
Why do you?
There was somebody
why
did on another thing. They did
gosh.
Taylor Swift trivia, and I won. And it was like the most horrible thing that I've ever done in my
No,
life.
he is
I actually
secret-
won at
He's
Taylor Swift.
secretly a Swiftie. Don't let him
Yeah.
shit you one little bit. He is a Swiftie. I will guarantee you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not, and I didn't know that was her favorite number. I can't retract it because I'm way older than her. So
You're a better singer too. I'll give you that.
I appreciate that.
You're just
Her
poor.
moves are right. That's the truth.
Right.
Yeah, her moves are awkward. Her money is heavy. It's good. Anyway, all right.
Yeah. So anybody else got anything else to add to the Freemasons? I think.
Well, it is cool. Well, not cool, but interesting. Like the symbol of the Freemasons, and then the five-pointed star. If you look at how the DC, like around the White House and Congress is, it makes the 5-pointed star symbol the streets do that lead up to Congress, and that's Freemason symbol. Have y'all seen those pictures?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that on even like different documentaries where they actually go to the stones where it marks out the outline, and they superimpose the lines on the map to show that.
Right. I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So many. What's up, LJ? So many of George Washington, Franklin, Churchill. I mean, so many people are Freemasons, and I think we're going to see when we dig into a couple more of these. What are we else? We're going to touch on the Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, Bilderberg. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up.
Do you know the youngest Freemason?
I don't know.
Like in existence now?
Well, he was the youngest, the youngest one to become a Freemason. Because usually you're older. You don't, they don't let usually young'uns become Freemasons.
Who was it? Either Mozart or George Bush.
No, it was a producer, director, writer, and his name was Cumtan. Cumtan?
No, what you're reading about.
That's what she said.
Cumtan, and it was from I'm assuming, let's see, from 2020 to 2023 is basically a conversation with this guy regarding. Anyways, he was the founder of Astrianism, and he's a philosopher and an astrotheologian and a lecturer and human rights scholar and all kinds of stuff. So, and he was 18.
Oh, wow.
And they let him in.
Yeah, I think you have to be 18 at least, right?
Well,
I don't know. I'm not a Freemason. What was the Monty Python skit? Why wouldn't be a Freemason for all the world? You and your silly handshakes and secret signs, you blackballing bastards.
Yes.
The old
That
Monty
is
Python skit.
I would be interested if somebody in chat is a Freemason or has anybody related to be, like, what do you know about it? If anybody in chat, maybe later on we can get them on and they can talk about it. Because I mean, I unfortunately know too much about Job's daughters. When you mentioned that, I was like, oh wow, somebody else knows about it. You did do your research. Just so you know, when they turn 18, they can join the Order of the Eastern Star, the Daughters of the Niles, the Orders of the White Shrine of Jerusalem. Yep. I can't speak today.
That's the women's side of it all, because the women ain't allowed in the Freemasons.
Right.
They have to have their own little thing. Do you know what that black and white floor stands for?
I don't.
Anybody else?
No. I would say good and evil or something. I don't know.
You're exactly right. It's the
is
yin and
it?
yang. And
Like yin and yang, yeah.
Yeah, and the higher up they go, they learn about the whole good and the evil of it all. And
Wow.
yeah, that's where, trust me.
Well, what is the top level? Isn't that Knights Templar? Like, weren't you telling me something like that? You found better.
Yeah, that's in the pyramid. The Knights Templars, like the top is like basically the top, right below the eyeball, or is the eyeball. Anyways, it is, and the Freemason, you have to become a Freemason before you ever get to work your way up to the Knights Templar. And it's quite an ordeal for you to get there. And by the time you get there, you are at the 33rd degree. And only people from the 30 to the 33rd degree are usually extremely rich. They are way up in something like business or politics, or they're way up there. So most don't ever see that. It's a very, very minimal few that actually get to go and get that far up there. So yeah, it was quite interesting. It goes through the Illuminati, not the Skull and Bones, but the what's the one? The Rossier. How do they say that? Fools knows.
Which one?
Rossierans or something.
Oh, the Rosicrucians. Rosicrucians
those
is what you're trying to say. Yeah, and that's all tied into the with the Georgia Guidestones and all that stuff there, with the Rosicrucians being like the one world order and all that.
Yes.
Didn't the Georgia Guidestones, didn't somebody blow those up?
Gosh, I don't know.
Yeah, somebody did. They went in there and destroyed like a few of them recently.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever read those, but that has some creepy, like predictions on it. Like basically they wanted those stones to stay in place until, like, if the world ever ended, they can, whenever they repopulate the earth, these are your 10 commandments pretty much. It was just crazy.
Yeah, and one was wasn't one population, desired population to be no larger than 500 million or something like that.
It was 500,000.
Yeah, it was 500,000.
500,000.
Yeah,
that's a lot of us. That's a lot. That's a lot of us not going to be there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about those things, that somebody they had tried to run a car into them at one point, and then they somebody actually strapped some dynamite or some tannerite to it and actually got it. But it's like, God dang it. I mean, it did have some weird, like, you know, like I said, like why do we need these? And the whole, they don't know. The only one person knows whoever actually funded that. That was the other. It was the banker, I think. But didn't the banker accidentally slip the name later on? I don't know. We can do a Georgia Guidestone store segment as well. I swear that those are fascinating.
Yeah, I used to know a lot about that, but it's been so long since I've read up on it.
Right. Yeah, that's a weird thing too. None of it really makes sense. All right, before we jump, I guess we're ready to roll into the next one. KJ, you ready to take this one over?
Yeah.
Unless Gutters has anything else to say about the
No. I think we covered all the high points, so.
All right, cool. Let me give a special thanks there again to Mrs. Mack, $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mack. Really do appreciate you. That is absolutely awesome. I feel like I should say thank you. Here you go. Thank you, Mrs. Mack. Yeah, thank you so much, Mrs. Mack. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. So yeah, I think the Masons, I think everybody's scared to, go too far.
I know. I've seen some comments. That's so funny.
So, yeah, we'll just move on to the next one.
That's so crazy.
As a disclaimer, this is just what was researched. We're not saying that we subscribe to this. We're just saying what people are saying is happening.
I mean, you can. Everyone can go and look at any of this.
I mean, the worst thing that could happen is we'll all be put on a list, but I'm pretty sure that I'm already on some list somewhere. So
yeah, that
other
one
list.
Well, and the whole, I think part of my object of it, and I think everybody else will kind of consider it a way of getting everybody to just think about it and, to have something else to think about and, check out. And it's amazing how much you learn by just going down one little tiny, talking about one thing. And pretty soon, man, your brain's full.
Right.
Well, again, it's the cross-pollination you're going to see throughout this whole show. It's insane.
Yeah, and that's what makes it cool, how they all kind of tie together. KJ, you ready to roll into this weirdness right here?
Fools, before you do that, Mrs. Mack just dropped 20 on my channel.
Oh, look at that.
Awesome.
Went over there on Gutterspub as well. There you go.
Thank you, Mrs. Mack.
Mrs. Mack's awesome.
Hey, it's me, Jessica.
I love her.
Yes. That's awesome. That's
you rock, Mrs. Mack. You rock.
Thanks, son.
All right.
That was good.
All right, the skull and bones. Are we ready? Are we ready to dig in?
Yeah, you got to read it in that voice too. Thank you.
Okay.
Please.
The whole thing.
No, but seriously.
Creepy.
No, this secret society, out of New Haven, Connecticut, Yale University. It's actually the oldest secret society in Yale, which was kind of cool. Known as Order 322 and Brotherhood of Death, which is super creepy. The theory of the Order of 322 references 322 BC when the Greek orator Demosthenes, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right, died. And that's a theory that people say because the number 322, that's what they say. So it was founded in 1832 by William Huntington Russell and Alfonso Taft. And he was actually an attorney general under President Ulysses. How do you say that? I stumbled across this many times.
Ulysses.
Yes. Okay. Grant. Yeah. Tongue tied. So I thought that was pretty cool because I have no idea who those people are. So Skull and Bones, George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, and William Howard Taft. 3 of our presidents. That's pretty crazy. So is it an actual club, or is it a pipeline of power? That's a good question. Also, CIA, Supreme Court justices were affiliated, titans of the finance, and the Rockefellers. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I actually had never even heard of Skull and Bones. So this was really, really neat to dive into. But the creepiest stuff was the rituals. So they would say that newbies had to get in a coffin naked and then tell their darkest secrets. And some of them were sexual, apparently, and wrestle in mud, which I'm pretty sure that's from old school, but whatever. And worship a fake goddess, Elugia, I think was her name. I don't know if any of that's true. Those are theories. Don't quote me on that, but it's out there. And there's also claims that where they met was called the tomb, and there was, skulls and bones, and Geronimo, which that's interesting because I actually saw Geronimo's grave in Oklahoma, but they're saying that they hold the skull, and in 2009 they were sued by the Apache, Geronimo's people, to get it back, and they were unsuccessful. So that was crazy. There's conspiracy theories about this, about how they helped fund Hitler's rise on Wall Street, the Kennedy assassination. I mean, you're talking mega stuff. And the fact that there's so he's crying. And actually I saw a video with John Kerry and George W. Bush where they were talking different clips about how it was a secret society. So it's secret and they don't say any more than that. So that's pretty telling in itself. The Skull and Bones, is it a secret society? Is it a bunch of brats that had a frat? I don't know. It was pretty interesting. There was a reporter that dug into the Skull and Bones, and her name was Alexandra Robbins, and she wrote Secrets of the Tomb. And she was, I saw a video with her, and she was harassed and all this stuff, trying, to keep her quiet, because she said she spoke to 150 people that were a part of it. But again, she was harassed and told that they wouldn't talk about it. So it was, anyway, that's pretty much the gist of what I have. It's pretty crazy. And I think with such huge people a part of it, I think that kind of, that was, crazy. Anyway, that's it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Crazy stuff, man.
Right. So.
Yeah, this is one I really don't know much about. So it was interesting to kind of look into it, and that's kind of why everybody was doing their own one, so they could look into it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is one I didn't really know a whole lot about, just other than things like, there's George Bush right there, standing there, and it's a really weird, creepy thing. What I
mean, with the skull there, I mean, how weird is that?
Who was the other? Was it Al Gore? Is that who it was?
No, it was Kerry. John Kerry.
John Kerry.
Yeah.
And they, obviously that was his opponent.
Right. 2004.
The Skull and Bones member. Mm-hmm. So how weird is that?
That's weird.
Right.
I think it didn't really matter who won that,
Ooh.
Yeah, they were both on the same team, so it really didn't matter.
Yeah, half the time in those elections, I don't think it really does matter,
I don't either.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where I dug, and it led me straight to the name of Rothschild. I'm telling you, right to it.
I mean,
no matter which way I took, like no matter what avenue I kept taking, it kept leading me right back to them. I'm like, son of a bitch, I don't like this.
Right. Yeah. The whole thing's just, sorry, I was responding to some people in chat. The whole thing's just pretty creepy. pretty creepy. Skull and bones, and the whole thing with like the rituals, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, hey guys, let's go lay naked in a coffin and tell our dirty secret. Like, no,
Well, and
thanks, I
if-
don't want to join.
Yeah, if that happened, that means so much more happened. Like, seriously.
Yeah, that's like the whole Animal House. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir.
Right. Exactly.
It led me, like, this whole thing is just like, as I think back to certain religions and fools was, we were talking about it earlier, and it kind of makes they're a lot alike. Let's just put it that way.
We're gonna have some skull and bones in my topic too, so they make their way around. I'll say that.
We're gonna have some in mind as well.
Right.
Shocking.
Yeah, I think the next two topics are going to get more. They're going to get darker. I think even darker than this. So not for the faint of heart, folks. Earmuff your kids and all that kind of jazz. Lord knows what's coming up with these guys.
If you have to earmuff your kids, they shouldn't be listening on this.
Anyway. And to think that I was the one that filtered myself through the Freemasons. You guys are going to blow it out of the water now. Go for it.
All right. Well, LW, you want to take it away?
Well,
Good job, Gutters and Katie.
Yeah.
JJ.
Well, the Bohemian Grove was started in 1872 by a bunch of like journalists, actors, writers, all wealthy people. And, I think Mark Twain was a member. But I want to start off too by two presidents who were asked, it's on video, what they thought about the Bohemian Grove. It was Bill Clinton and Richard Nixon. Bill Clinton, when asked, said, "Isn't that where all the gay Republicans hang out?" And when Richard Nixon, he's on tape, you can look it on YouTube, and he said, "That's the faggiest goddamn place in the world." But anyway, that's just to start off their opinions of it. But yeah, it was pretty much just for like artists and stuff. They would do stuff like when some actor or musician or something made it and they were going to New York, they would get together like to see him off and have like a party or whatever to see him off. And there it is right there. But as time went on, they got bigger and bigger, and a lot more people with influence started coming there, and they have all these weird, like one of their sayings, I have it here, sorry. I would have had it ready to go. Like they have this saying in there, "Weaving spiders come not here," and that's from Shakespeare's A Midnight Summer's Dream. And that's just, I'm going to play here in a minute of Alex Jones talking to David Gergen, who used to go to it all the time. And Alex Jones told him that, and you could see his face drop. Remember we were watching that last night?
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff right there.
You could see David Gergen's like, holy crap. But, they have a lot of, as time went on, the Skull and Bones kind of took it over. Like the Bush, all those Skull and Bones Republicans took it over. And then it became like kind of like a thing for politicians to hang out at. Not everybody who was invited like stays overnight to do all these rituals or whatever, but it's like a festival for artists and politicians and all this type of stuff. Like George Bush Sr., he went and he held a conference there, a big meeting with heads of state from other countries, military leaders from other countries. It was called CIA Now and Tomorrow, So then it started getting political with presidents and stuff like that. Ronald Reagan started going, Richard Nixon, all this kind of stuff. And then it started getting more corporations and like people from MIT, professors of like robotics and all this type of stuff. And let's see here. And some of these, they try to play it off and they're like, oh, it's just a festival we just want to relive our college days. Like we all really wanted to, a bunch of guys want to relive their college college days with no women. No women. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. But they have like all these separate camps, and here's some of the names of these camps that they have in there. It's like a Renaissance festival for gay Republicans, but here's some of the camps that are in there: Lost Angels, the Silverado Squatters, Isle of Aves, Sleepy Hollow, Pig and Whistle, the Sons of Rest, the Druids, and the Sun Dodgers. Who knows what goes on in there? But all these Druid rituals, and then that's where a lot of people say that a lot of people were picked for positions after going to that. Like Alan Greenspan was the former Federal Reserve Chair. He was pictured leaving there, and a month later he was elected to the chair to lead the Federal Reserve. So it's where a lot of backdoor that'll be funny later.
Sorry.
But a lot of deals, I'm like, who's going to be the next guy?
Them jokes are writing themselves over there.
Yeah.
They just need to get their mind out of the gutter.
Dude.
Oh, and in the 90s, there was gay prostitutes that came out, like on the National Enquirer, stuff like that, saying, yeah, they used to hire us, and we used to go in there and do orgies with all these people. But and then these weird sayings on their paper, like their pamphlets and stuff for the show. Here's one: "Come as little children who believe. O beautiful vessels, enter the owl's leafy temples, as the priest conjure up the spirits of the forest. Seek the great owl's adoration and cremate dole's care."
What the hell?
Yeah. And here's what you're looking at on screen is this Moloch, the owl god. And they all dress up and chant, and they bring out like a fake sacrifice.
Wait,
And
who?
legend who? Do what?
Who?
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 Yeah, I'm stealing my joke here.
Oh.
I
see
was
what
going
you
to see
did
how many
there.
times I could get him to say owl god.
Yeah, I went over. I went over to check my audio. I appreciate that.
I've been doing that to you a lot lately.
Oh, that's funny.
I wanted to come through the screen and choke you, Gigi. But yeah, look right. They just all this weird shit. Like they have like a fake sacrifice, and legend has it, they used to do real sacrifices, but it's just all a bunch of. And Moloch is mentioned in the Hebrew text in Leviticus, and it references child sacrifices.
Oh,
And
my gosh,
this
stop
is the
it.
weird shit they do there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Just reliving our college days, guys.
That's terrifying.
I don't know what. I'm not with a bunch of dudes. I'm sorry. It's just
Right,
not-
and
It's okay. I went to college late, so it doesn't pertain to me.
yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff. And those two quotes by Clinton and Nixon are pretty good, but there you go, right there. There's Nixon and Reagan, and this will go. And this leads right into the next one, to Baker's Bilderberg Group, because all these same people go to that too.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that's all the same people doing that as well. It's like that's just reliving their days of reliving their college days. I guess maybe they had to make that one to relive the days of reliving the college days.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of weird stuff, and not everybody's into it. It's not like it's invite only and stuff like that, but not everybody. They just go to the festival during the day and they leave. The people who stay in the camps and stuff like that, these are like the elite people, the presidents, the military generals, the heads of corporations, and stuff like that. And they are the ones who do this fucking ritual in the middle of the night.
All the rich people.
Yeah.
What the hell? That is terrifying.
That
Now,
is terrifying.
there is a female-only version of this, allegedly, and it's called the Belizean Grove. Of course, it's just a bunch of ladies that meet down in Belize and have a similar type meeting. Hillary Clinton is one to be known to go down there.
Are you sure it's not called a lesbian glove?
That would make more sense.
The lesbian grove.
Scissor me timbers.
Okay.
I had a joke lined up, but I decided not
Oh,
to.
that is so bad.
Oh my God! Did you have some video you wanted to play, LW?
Yeah, just hang tight. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
I'm working on that, brother.
No rush at all. No, I was just making
he's
sure. I didn't know.
creating it.
Why is it
wasn't-
called?
Well, I do have to say this though, because when I was looking at Big Bush and Little Bush,
Nobody's a
You needed a mirror for that one, didn't you?
I'm so lost.
dude, I couldn't even stop. I'm horrible. I'm like reading this, and all I could think was Big Bush, Little Bush.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about. You're talking about president.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
Not president. I'm like, what the
Oh,
hell?
sorry.
What did I miss?
All y'all need some
Completely
Jesus.
inappropriate. I do have Jesus, but
You need
He's-
more.
oh, that's bad. Anyway.
You ever wonder why it's called scissoring and not lip syncing?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I've never wondered that. However, now I'm gonna think about it. Thanks.
That is so bad.
Okay,
That is
on,
so
on to
bad.
LW's video. On to LW's video. Thank you.
For
Yeah,
while in
let's-
New
let's-
York to cover the Republican National Convention, we ran into David Gergen, the Karl Rove of 4 presidential administrations.
Okay, one last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you. Oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, "Hey, I don't run around in the woods naked." What did that mean?
Here is the before mentioned Washington Times article where he said, "I didn't run around naked like they do."
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
You do?
I do.
But there's a lot of big public officials going in there.
You
Don't
took-
we deserve to know?
I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials. that
I'm
are
sorry.
saying
You
policy.
took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film, and did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them
Yes,
up
sir.
after.
Oh, I'm
I just
sorry.
walked in.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual genuinely?
Sir, everything. I don't owe you this comment.
I know. I appreciate it.
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank
You
you
ever
and
been
goodbye.
in the ritual?
That's none of your damn business.
Oh.
That's right. Listen. You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets, and that's an inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest
You
of
guys
us
are
to
setting
say, "Oh well,
policy in
you're
there,
one."
Mr. Gergen.
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously, you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders come out here? Yeah, that is a 3-pointer. Woo!
Look how strangely he behaved when we brought it up. Why is he acting so secretive? Why did he get so angry when he discovered that we'd snuck in? You see, they take it very, very seriously. This is one of the hallmarks of the occult and secret societies. The word occult means secret. Secrecy is part of their religion. They revel in it. And when it's violated, they become extremely angry.
Yeah, there it is.
I couldn't stop staring at his comb over. I'm going to be honest. However,
It was pretty epic.
come on.
I mean, what?
over.
No, what Alex did, Alex Jones. I mean, that guy.
Yeah, he's people can say what they want about him, but it's always I've always liked Alex Jones. So.
Yeah,
You know-
the rules.
You can make a whole list of everything that he said prior to it actually happening, and you'll see a lot more rights than you do wrongs.
Right, 100%, and that's like we said, that's a show we want to do too one night, folks. Is all the times Alex Jones was right. So we'll save that for later. But yeah, that's a good video there. That guy didn't know what the hell to say.
Right.
It's scary.
And there's been a bunch of people since Alex Jones who've gone in there and videotaped, and I think they've chilled out on that big cremation of care thing since it after Alex Jones kind of did that thing, but they did it for, I mean, there's pictures going back to just forever ago of them doing it. And, there's a lot of people who say that they used to do real sacrifices of humans, but I guess they got tired of that and just started doing fake ones. But it's all weird, kind of like devil worship, like just
I mean, that's exactly what it seems like to me. I mean,
And then-
exactly.
And then all these people go and talk about how Christian they are and
Mm-hmm.
this. And they make policy based on the Christianity and stuff like that. And behind the scenes and these secret stuff they do, they don't seem to be Christian at all, or any sort of, it's all dark. It's all darkness.
Yeah, that's terrifying, actually. Right. It does seem just like devil worship.
And like I was saying with Alan Greenspan, he comes out of the Bohemian Grove. He's photographed coming out of the Bohemian Grove, and a month later he's elected to Fed chair. So they mask a lot of all these little artist camps and stuff, like the Druids or whatever the hell it is, and the big guys are making decisions on like who are we gonna pay off to do what we want for this position. It's a lot of stuff that we don't see.
Now, wasn't
You
Obama
talk about
linked
those
that too?
chants. Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead, Baker.
Oh no, I was going to say that wasn't also Barack Obama somehow linked to this as well, because it feels like he was handpicked as well, just out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the Bohemian Grove, but probably your Bilderberg thing, probably.
Mm.
The shadow people in the chat, probably not. It's not as good as a Diddy party.
That's funny. Yeah.
No, yeah, I wouldn't.
Bohemia Grove equals a Diddy party. Just saying.
Just
A Diddy party with old white man instead. Ugh.
Either way is.
but it sounds like less sacrificing if you've listened to the trial.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the Diddy party for boomers.
Yes.
Okay,
that's exactly
Boomer, what do you say?
Yeah, but if anybody wants to see Richard Nixon's quote on it, it's on YouTube. He's recorded saying it. His opinion about it is pretty hilarious.
Do you have that?
I can get it. Hold on.
I am not a crook.
So Baker, while he's looking it up, you got anything to add to this one?
I mean, I think that it's easy to see that, all of these so-called quote conspiracy theories, become conspiracy facts later. The more we learn about this, they can be as secretive as they want to be, but the truth is, I mean, you can go back in history and you can look and see the people that attended these type of meetings and how the world turned out. A decade later, you can see the correlation. How are those people now in power? How are they? They're making these decisions all of a sudden. And that's something that also leads into my stuff with the Bilderberg group. I feel like all of these that we've talked about, the Freemasons and the Skull and Bones and now the Bohemian Grove, they all filter up, in my opinion, to one central point. And it's not that this particular central point has anything to do with one or other, but I think you'll see that it seems as if the Bilderberg group is kind of the NATO of these groups, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Ready to go?
Yep. You got to unmute it. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, just back it up and unmute it. You got it. Try turning the volume up. I can't hear it. Anybody else got audio?
No, I can't hear it either.
Is your audio? Is it? Yeah, it's
All the way up. Yeah.
Yeah, not sure if you. I don't know why that's not playing, but we can't hear that. Audio. If you want to drop the link, that link to that in the private chat, I'll pull it up. We'll bring Richard Nixon back up here. Look at him.
Old tricky dick.
Yep. I am not a crook.
Sorry
that
about
was a psyops, right?
Nah, it's all good, LD.
The
Never
whole
apologize.
thing.
You know, any technical difficulties we ever have over here, nobody make fun of us. We still have not quit our day jobs. So, we're doing the best we can. Yeah, Elder, if you just drop that thing there in a private chat, I'll pull it up right here.
Okay.
You know, the whole "I am not a crook" thing was a whole psyops.
Was it really?
Yeah. Well, so the story goes is that Jackie Gleason, I believe, met with Richard Nixon, and I don't know, they got drunk, drinking, smoking cigars one night, and then Nixon was like, "Hey, you want to say some shit?" And of course, Gleason, being who he was very interested. Apparently, Nixon showed him some top secret UFO stuff. And it's not like Gleason said much, but it sounds like the officials knew he did this. And gosh, it wasn't a couple months later, Watergate came out and got him out of office.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty interesting link.
Now, was he showing you the UF stuff just trying to help get Alice to the moon, or?
Oh boy, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to provide that ride. Who knows?
To the moon.
To the moon, Alice.
But it's just because
One of
he was
these
a well-known
days.
UFO lover. Like, he believed that stuff. He believed that it was happening, and Nixon kind of like, hey, check this out. So, that's the rumor on the street is that the shadow government or the elites needed to get him out. He posed a threat to, I guess, national security. So they did the whole Watergate incident. And because look at these presidents now. They've done way worse stuff than Watergate. Way worse. So the whole "I am not a crook" thing was a psyops to get everybody to believe that Nixon really did something horrible.
Gotcha. All right, let me pull this up. I got what LW is trying to share here.
Yeah, I'm having having a problem with my computer. I couldn't do it to the private chat. I don't know what's going on.
It could be a StreamYard thing again.
Yeah, I got you, brother. All right, here we go. Gotta bring this one down, pull this up, and wham bam. I think it is a StreamYard thing because I can't hear this either.
Yeah.
Let's look at
There it goes.
You know what's happening in San Francisco just gone. It's clear over. But it isn't. This is just not a rowdy part of town. But the upper class in San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend one time to time. The Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd goes in. It's just terrible.
Oh my God.
I don't want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Doesn't that make sense?
Oh, makes total sense after everything I just read. Absolutely.
Wow.
Especially for back
That's
then.
scary.
Yeah, Nixon,
Right.
he was a bit controversial.
Secretive. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Or he told it like it was. And controversial or not. We know what San Francisco's like today. He's not
Mhm.
wrong.
No, exactly.
No, that's what that's what I meant. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Makes sense.
Oh, geez. All right, LW, you got anything else to say about that one?
I'll just say this: if you ever invite me to the woods with a bunch of men wanting to do a druid party, I'm gonna delete your number. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun,
noted, sir.
but these guys did love it. They loved it.
Just ignore that last text I sent you.
Okay, but we all are going to go RVing, so it's not the same. Just so everybody knows, we're going to
No, you're going to go RVing.
Yeah.
I'm going Marriotting.
No, I'm not.
Actually, I just camped this past week. By the way, we'll talk about that later. But anyway,
Okay, sorry.
glamped. Sorry,
Glamping. This is not camping, KJ.
whatever. It's still camping. I sat by a fire.
That's right. I
Y'all-
smell
y'all
like
are-
smoke.
Yeah.
I had a good time. Marvin had a red beer at 9:30 in the morning. It's camping.
That's definitely camping.
That's
Oh, that's
geez.
funny.
All right. Well, Baker, you about ready for yours here?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, real quick before you do, I do want to give another special shout out there
Holy
to Mrs.
moly.
Mack coming in again with a $50 super chat there. This is crazy. She says, I love y'all. Let's do Big Bush first.
That's so funny.
Oh, Mrs. Mac. She's my kind of gal.
Thank you, Mrs. Mack. Thank you.
Hey! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mack. Love you, girl. Thank you so much. Not to
Wait,
do
wait,
that
wait.
at all, but much appreciated. Like, honestly, thank you so much.
I thought
Super
we
cool.
had already had the conversation about you having a hot dude on there so that when Mrs. Mack and me and others.
Well, listen, you got to
donate.
pull that one off. I'm not, all right. You want to, all
That
right.
is a good idea.
I have that for you. I did make it just for you. So, here you go. There you go, Gutters. I did that
I-
just for
No,
you.
no,
So
no.
there you
I
go.
am
That was
gonna make one.
ridiculous.
I'm going to
Yes.
make one for
Yes.
this channel because that's not
Yes.
fair that us females have to look at weird stuff like that. We should be able to get a hot one. You guys get hot chicks, you guys think, even though they look like they came from a high school cheerleading team.
Oh, good gosh. That's not good.
One of them does. Show her.
Yeah. Well, okay. Moving on to more weirdos that go to these things that do weird stuff. Like let's not, corner ourselves
Okay.
here.
Well,
Yes, Slim Shady Kane's a very good point.
Really?
Slim.
Oh, geez. All right, Baker, take it away, sir. The floor is all yours. Thanks again, Mrs. Mack. Thank you so much. Like I said, love you. Thanks so much. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
that is incredible. I don't know how I'm going to follow up L-Dub and his. I think it's to go without saying that, the Bilderberg Group, if people don't know what that is, it's an annual private conference full of influential people from North America, from Europe. It includes politicians, business executives, academics, media figures, the type of people that you need there to push certain agendas or come up with said certain agendas and execute said certain agendas. For me, the Bilderberg Group is one of these fascinating topics, which I was really happy that I got to sign this one because I can just kind of just spitball about it, to be honest with you. But I wanted to come prepared. But the Bilderberg Group is one of those, again, secret organizations that you're not allowed to be a part of. This whole group was founded in 1954, and the purpose of this group was really to foster dialogue between Europe and North America in the post-World War II era. They were trying to counter anti-American sentiment in Europe In other words, they were worried about another socialist uprising and another trying to avoid another World War III in this case. And this was all, the name Bilderberg actually came from the hotel they met in the Netherlands for, it's like a Hotel de Del or Hotel de Bilderberg, I believe is the name. I don't know, it escapes me, but it's basically the hotel's name was Bilderberg, and that's where they came up with the Bilderberg group. Some of the key founding members is people we don't probably know about, except one that was mentioned earlier, and his name was David Rockefeller. Shocking that that all just comes full circle when you have people that were also a part of the Skull and Bones all of a sudden show up in this. But unlike other organizations, this one doesn't have any kind of specific structure. There is no headquarters, there's no formal memberships. The only way you can go to these meetings is invite only. That is it. That's typically the way they set these meetings up. They invite 2/3 of European type influential people, politicians, I should say, media, business giants, and the others 1/3 is from North America. There's also royalty that for some reason attends, but again, you need these people in place because they're basically the pawns, not the pawns. They're basically your rooks and your queens and kings on the chessboard. They need those pieces involved to move their agenda. Now, the reason people are so skeptical of the Bilderberg Group is because of its closed door nature, and also the fact that they have an elite participation list. And the thing is that they're not even shy about this list. They actually, I don't know if this is good timing or not, but the Bilderberg Group meeting is happening right now as we speak, and it's in Stockholm, Sweden. So they've already released the agenda, and they've released the people that are actually going to these meetings. They're not shying away from that. The only rule is you can't tell where you got your source information from. Everybody's allowed to talk openly in there. They can talk about whatever they want, however they want. They just can't tell you who they heard it from. So that's like one of the reasons why there's all these secretive and organizational conspiracy theories built up around the Bilderberg Group. It's the lack of transparency and accountability, especially in like the public's eye, that this, why are these people meeting up? Why are they doing this? What are they talking about? And you hear what they're talking about. And you're like, well, wait a second, that's got to lead to something. What's the reason for this? And there's other overlapping figures from the Bilderberg Group with another organization called the World Economic Forum. And I think people's probably heard of that one, especially since it's been pushed out in the media quite a bit because of their global initiative for climate change and their ESG scores, trying to get these companies to bend the knee to the whole global initiative to lower carbon emission. I mean, this kind of stuff, it all cross-pollinates. Most of them went to the same Bilderberg meeting that also go to the World Economic Forum meetings. You have prominent members like Klaus Schwab's, Bill Gates is there. You've had other members in the past that's gone to these Bilderberg Group meetings like Bill Clinton and Henry Kissinger. It's mind-blowing to think that they're having these meetings and us as the people have to just sit there and think, well, surely nothing bad's happening there. There's no way it's happening. One of the things that they talk about, though, like as far as the themes, and usually it kind of revolves around, is geopolitical relationships, global economic issues, technology changes that's coming down the pipe, like artificial intelligence, energy crises and energy demands versus the climate change, and obviously like any kind of war talk, like security and defense talk for like basically the mechanized war machines that we all fund millions and billions of taxpayer dollars for. So it's just one of those things that when you look at it on paper, nothing looks right about it. And again, I've asked this question earlier, and I'll say it again. Just like the government, I mean, when has the media ever come out whenever you talk about this stuff when it's a quote conspiracy theory? How many times have they always told you, oh, you're just a wacko, you're just a crazy person? Alex Jones called this stuff out about the Bilderberg Group back in the early 2000s. Again, another check mark box on the fact that he was right. So I went to the Bilderberg website again. You can go look at all this information, and this topic that they're talking about, and at least the agenda topics that they're talking about this year, which I find fascinating, is now they're talking about their agenda is transatlantic relationships, the Ukraine war, the U.S. economy. Like, why do these people care about the U.S. economy? Makes you wonder. They're talking about Middle East. They're talking about AI and deterrence of national security. They're talking about geopolitical issues with energy of critical minerals, so lithium batteries, and how that's become such a hot commodity in the world. And what I found more interesting out of all those topics is this is the first year that they're talking about depopulation and migration. Why would they care about depopulation in these meetings? That makes no sense to me. So I guess basically to wrap things up, one of the other theories that I've seen floating around is we're on the cusp of World War III. And judging by today's news, I think we can all agree that we're getting pretty close. And just like what happened after the end of World War I, and all these European countries decided to band together and form the League of Nations. And then when that failed, and after World War II happened, all these countries decided to band together and create NATO. We're due for another reset. And I think that we're seeing the start of it. It just, there's too many things that add up to point that direction. Again, they talk about these conspiracy theories that people talk about that come out of these meetings, such as the New World Order plot, or the control of the world economics, the global surveillance and control that they have over people, selections of world leaders. We talked about that earlier. The depopulation agenda, which I brought up earlier, to reduce the birth rates, or like engineer a pandemic that curbs population growth. I wonder where we heard that one from. The suppression of free energy is another one that people claim has been talked about out of these meetings. I mean, they don't hide the agenda. They are talking about this stuff. Media collusion. That all dates back to the 1960s with Operation Mockingbird, which was also prevalent of getting Richard Nixon removed from office with a "I'm not a crook." Remember, I said that was a psyop. Big tech, AI control, eugenics. By the way, those all came from Nazi Germany that we brought here to America, but don't bring that up. Last but not least, you got the pandemic, engineering the health crisis. I can't remember who quoted, but they always say never let a good crisis go to waste. And it just seems like every week we're dealing with another crisis. So, yeah, that's me spitballing about the Bilderberg group. So I don't really have anything else to say or add about that. You guys have anything?
Sir. Bravo. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done there, Baker. Yeah, this is the one to me that terrifies me the most.
Right.
It does
I mean,
too. Yeah.
the other ones are like, don't go wander up on the woods when you hear a bunch of people chanting and, and you hear like goats squealing and shit, But this one here is the one that, I mean, this is this is the scary one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
like
In the late 90s, there was, quote unquote, like we're talking about conspiracy theories, that what came out of the Bilderberg meetings were about how we're going to go to war with Iraq, Afghanistan, all this stuff like that. And Iran was part. And General Wesley Clark talked about this when he was called into a meeting with Dick Cheney. And this is before 9/11. They were like, we're going to go to war with this country, this country, this country. And he was like, well, that sounds crazy. And then 9/11 happened. But there was conspiracies back in the late 90s that this is what was talked about at these meetings, that, we're going to do a full war on the Middle East.
It's interesting. I pulled up the list of all the past agendas, and in the late 90s, the Middle East was on there. Now, they don't specify what country they're specifically talking about, but again, you move forward in time, you look back at these agendas, some of the things that that happened in the last 10, 15 years, it all makes sense. And I think, TF, you're right. You're absolutely right that it was Winston Churchill. Thank you, Kentucky. Yeah, it's one of those things where you think about how the Bilderberg group is structured. I feel like, and this is just me connecting the dots to kind of tie our show together. I'm sure you've got Freemasons of some sort that has ties to this. There's no doubt about it. The Freemasons are all over the place. We know that the Skull and Bones has people that go to this meeting. We know that we've got different politicians and officials from the Bohemian Grove that go to these things. I mean, it's just one of these. It feels like one of these organizations that kind of is at the tip of the pyramid, and everybody sends some kind of a delegate to these meetings to talk about the agenda, and then when they break apart to go their separate way for the year, they take what they learned from this meeting back to their people for their other secret meetings and execute whatever was talked about. It seems like it's all being controlled here. These seem like the puppeteers, and we're just the puppets.
Right. I mean, heads of corporations meeting with military generals from across the world. I mean, it's just wild.
Well, it's all in a matter of national security. And I think that with the evolution of AI and what AI is doing in today's society, I mean, we see it unfolding before our eyes, what AI is doing. You know, before long, and I think that AI is actually growing exponentially faster than what we predicted.
Right.
And this was all part of the plan. I mean, once you introduce AI into certain aspects of the economy, why do you need teachers? Why do you need lawyers? You know, there's a lot of jobs that are going to be all of a sudden become irrelevant because AI is now a part of it. Then what? You know, or are we just going to sit back and just stay at home? Like how is that going to work? And I think this is all by design.
Well, that's the funny part. I mean, in the last 5 to 10 years, what have we heard politicians like Andrew Yang and a lot of other people talking about universal basic income? And that has to do with AI and stuff like that. They know that there's not going to be jobs for people. There's just not. No. I think the AI is for them, not us.
Yeah, and you know, there's a reason why Bill Gates is buying up all this farm property. You know, what does he know that we don't? You know, is that going to be the next thing that we all need is land so we can grow our own food and live off the human system? Because it feels like they're building towards something happening in the near future, not later on. It feels like something's moving now. Now, again, that's my conspiracy theory side coming out, and you know, call me a whack all you want, but
I was talking to a good friend of mine today, and you know, he's one of these people. We always talk about this stuff. He's always wanted to do this. We've never been, you know, come on here with us and stuff. And he will. He's been on here before. Helped me interview the Bigfoot guy that one time.
Oh my God.
We were talking about that, and he was talking about the national debt, you know, and how you've watched it go from the time of the beginning to $10 trillion, you know. And then you look at it and go in the past, you know, however many years, I don't have the numbers in front of me. He explained it a lot better to where now, what are we at now?
Like 35
trillion.
Okay, so that's $25 trillion. And there's, you know, what did the Pentagon say they lost? It was like 3 trillion or something, you know, they couldn't account for.
2 trillion, yeah.
Yeah, 2 trillion. Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's unfathomable money. $2 trillion.
It took 200 years to get to 1 trillion in debt.
Right.
And in the last 35 years, it's 35 trillion.
Right. So what is it? Where is this money going? He's convinced it's going to like underground bunkers and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. And he may be right. You know, that they're doing stuff, preparing for what is to come. And that's why there's so much money being spent. Yeah, you know, there's so many theories
and
there.
We ain't invited.
Well, right. There you go. And you ain't invited.
This isn't even hidden. Like, this isn't like some conspiracy theory. There's some mountain in Norway where Bill Gates donated $30 million of seeds.
It's like the Noah's Ark.
Right. Mark Zuckerberg talks about how he's got underground. There's underground bunkers all over Hawaii.
Well, they talked about just recently on one of the podcasts I listened to where the U.S. government has underground cities built along the coast and then on the interior of America with transportation networks connecting all of them.
Well, I told you that at night, the Ring people will say things. They'll post from the Ring. They have that little, I don't know, neighborhood watch, whatever, and people will post, "Oh, Did you hear the loud booms and like it sounded like grinding, or it sounds like metal or something, metal on metal, and some people hear it and some people don't. And a lot of people are saying they feel like it's underground, like they're, drilling tunnels or whatever it is that they do to. I mean, if there's a nuke, you better be way up in the sky or
I mean, you can only stay up in the sky so long. Ask those kids in the damn bouncy house.
Right.
Well, or that girl parasailing.
You need to watch. You need to watch the 100.
I watched part of that. All those shows, they start out good. Like if they would make those shows and do them 2 seasons, it would be good. It's kind of like Lost.
They do it 10.
Right.
It just gets so ridiculous. Like it's a good show. Okay, cool. And then it's like, just in the damn thing. Like, wrap it up. Come on.
You never got to the AI part. When you got to if you'd have got to that part, you'd have went, holy.
In which one?
In the 100.
Oh, I just lost interest after after a couple. It just got cheesy. They all do.
It's like the
season 10, like The Walking Dead. Just go on ahead, let Negan win, and let's all celebrate and be happy.
Let a dead dog lie.
Right. I always wanted Negan to win in The Walking Dead. I quit watching when he cried. I was like, all right, I'm done with this.
Pussy.
Well, that's another example. That was a great show for like 1 to 3 seasons, and then they decided, we're going to make this a 20-year show. It just ruined it.
Yeah, next thing it's a soap opera. I mean, it's like almost Stefano D'Amaro's about to pop up in there somehow and come back from the grave,
Exactly.
and take over. It's like, oh my God, can't handle it.
Oh, what was his name?
That's why Breaking Bad was so great, because it was only 5 seasons, but it was balls to the wall.
Breaking
for 5 seasons.
Bad was amazing.
Now, did you get into?
I watched it twice.
What's that?
Did you get into Better Call Saul?
Marvin did.
Yeah.
I hit the same way. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was good.
I tried.
Right. Well, it was still good. The beginning of it was good.
Yeah, that's kind of how far Marvin got. And then he was like, okay.
Breaking Bad, that was next level.
Do you know Jesse Pinkman was on The Price is Right?
Yeah, saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Before all that.
He was so good.
Netflix does have like I don't know if y'all seen it. It's like a 2-hour movie. The ending of Breaking Bad. It was.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, of what happened to Jesse. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it is. It's worth the watch if you're into Breaking Bad. 100%.
Now, one thing I always liked Dexter, and I think I mentioned this before, but
I love Dexter.
There's another season coming out.
Well, there already was.
No,
it was about his son.
There is. Yeah,
there's a new one. He's in New York now.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
And a new season of King of the Hill.
On what? Well, wait. Go back to Dexter. What's it supposed to be on?
He resurfaces in New York. I don't know. They've just vaguely put out.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting!
Yeah. I haven't seen the last trailer. I need to find like the time when I can do like the free subscription to Showtime, for the 7 days and binge watch it. I haven't had the chance yet. I'm not paying them for that.
No. But did you watch the season with his son?
Mm-mm.
I have.
Okay.
Is that the last one that came out like 3 years ago?
No.
Okay.
The whole thing with just his son.
No, sorry. Yeah, there was Dexter. That was like how many seasons? And then they came out with Dexter's son.
Oh no, I have not seen that.
You have to.
Okay, well,
because Dexter
send me the link
for
this. Listen, you're the rich one. Send me the link to like your whatever you have, Showtime or Netflix or any of that.
No, I actually don't have Netflix anymore.
You want your password?
Showtime.
Yeah, give me your password. Your mother's maiden name. Your your first dog. Shit, I might already know all this.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, now you got her password.
Damn you. No, that's funny. But is there really going to be a new one? Are you sure you're not talking about?
Yes, 100%. They just announced it about a week ago. Yes,
that's exciting.
100%.
You guys can be excited about all these shows, but I'm excited about Spaceballs too.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're going to ruin it.
I'm excited about Spaceballs too.
All right, but
That's-
back to topic though. We can bullshit around for a minute. Here in a second. I do want to somewhat wrap this up. We do like to drop the link if anybody wants to call in and talk about that. Are we basically at that point? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the deal, people. What we want to do here, we're trying to keep this to being a regular show. This isn't like a hangout party stream or anything like that. If anybody would like to come on and give their input about this topic, we can bring one person on at a time so it doesn't turn into a panel of a bunch of people talking over each other. This presentation is being brought to you by, what do we call it? The ASN? Wait, isn't that the adult thing? Yeah, let's call it that. The Audio Snob Network.
Yes. Yes.
Give out the ASN awards.
Brought to you by the Audio Snob
You have to
Network.
say ASN. Love it.
ASN.
But so I will go on ahead and post that link out. If anybody would like to come up here and give their take on that. Also, you're more than welcome to. I do want everybody to, in the comment of this video, okay, I got a few things I got to get to. So in the comment of this video is being streamed out. It's over there on Gutters Pub's channels, here on Traveling Fools. It's on LW, and it is also going out on X as well. So big shout out to all you people watching on X. Really do appreciate you being here. Sorry I didn't get a chance to say hey to you earlier. I meant to a few times. But big shout out. Thank all of y'all over there on X as well watching. But in the comment of this video, if you could leave, not in the live chat, but if you could leave like topics you want to see us cover or anything like that, that would be greatly appreciated as well. What y'all want to hear about, because without you, there is no show. So we do appreciate each and every one of you being here. 137 people watching right now, and we really do appreciate everybody out there that is watching, spending their Friday night with us. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop the link. Now, what we really want, I don't know how many people will come in. We want, to talk about what we're talking about. We don't want to hear about, what you did last week, your camping trip or, anything.
Well, and not Dexter. This is about the societies.
Right.
What you had
About
in
these
her-
societies and stuff like that. I mean, maybe you are a Freemason and you would like to come here and correct something we've said. This is just stuff we researched. Things maybe maybe you've been to Bilderberg. That would be really cool. Look us up.
If anybody can get me tickets to Bohemian Grove, I'm down. So
Yeah, definitely.
join the chat. I want to go.
Hey, LW asked for 2 tickets. I'll buy the Pub tent. We
Don't.
can relive our college days together.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. That was deep.
Oh, yeah. That's
It will be.
Deep in something.
I knew someone was going to grab on.
Yeah.
Oh, but
You were sure somebody was going to grab onto that one.
oh,
all right, Gutters, LW, if y'all want to drop that too, feel free. I know more than welcome to do that. If you are watching on X and you do want to chime in on the conversation, just pop over to the YouTube side. It is posted right underneath the thing there. The link will be right there if you would like to come in and give your 2 cents, because so many shows on YouTube, it's all about the people doing it. We like to give our presentation, kind of blah, 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 but we'd like to hear from you too. So, I mean, maybe nobody wants to come up and talk about this. Maybe they do. I have no idea. If not, we'll talk about Dexter.
That's right.
I will say that some of the other conversations that I've read about that's come out of these meetings, especially about the green energy initiatives, is, how they want to put all of these windmills up. They want to buy up all this farmland and put these windmills up. And I just got to say, nobody really looks at the absolute waste that those windmills are. Not just the fact that they're, taking up all this property and land. They don't really generate a whole lot of energy. And oh, by the way, when those blades have microfractures in them, they have to come down. Where do you think they put those blades? Because they're not shipping them out. They're burying that fiberglass into the ground at the site. So it's this kind of stuff that they...
well, and you see them. You live, you see those.
Have you ever seen
Has-
what's around them? Like if you was to drive up to one and see the oil, the grease and the oil. I mean,
yeah,
it's
your
not just a
oil leaking
little
out.
bit.
Of them. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. Like, here's how
Horrible.
I kind of feel about, like, in that sense. Where did the oil come from? I'm not, so it doesn't bother me that bad, except for if you've got a farmland and now you've just put these through it, now that's farmland that can't be used for what we need it for, which is growing our food. So,
Well, and even furthermore, you know, these global elites that go to these meetings, the whole agenda is control. How can they control the population? How can they stay enriched and empowered? You know, one of the things was these smart meters you put on the side of your home. Those smart meters, whether you know it or not, can see everything you have plugged in your home and what is being used, because everything has its own electronic signature. So those meters can collect that data, and now that data is being housed and put somewhere. It's only a matter of time before somebody gets a hold of that data and starts signing credit scores or carbon credit scores. Like, oh, gutters, I noticed that you plugged your camper in. Whoa, that's a waste. We're gonna dock you 5 points.
Yeah, we have a power grid problem in Texas, and this is Democrats and Republicans both did it. They signed up for these wind energy and stuff like that, and it was supposed to produce 27% of the state's energy, but they're so inefficient they only produce 5%. So when it's super cold in the winter or super cold or super hot in the summer, the grid is like at like max capacity, and they start telling you to, you know, keep your AC at this this temperature, and like, you know,
they got to do a thing called load shedding.
Yeah,
and they go to these big users and customers and say, hey, the grid's too overloaded, we need to drop your load, and then they get paid for not running energy. That's what they sign up for those load shedding programs.
did they ask them like that? Did they say that?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. They call them up and say, hey, we got to drop you.
I gotta drop my load here. Is that what they say? Sorry.
Get ready.
Sorry.
But
yeah, LW, I've talked to you many times, and you lose power out there.
Right. I've cussed about it like a lot. And then
there we go. The shadow people says I'm Amish, so I'm good. Nice.
Right. This guy.
I know. I love this guy. Right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, but when you have 30 million people in a state, and something is supposed to supply 27% of the power, and it only produces 5%, but these stupid politicians still do it. So I mean, I don't know what to do. But
I mean, you were talking, Baker, about the windmills and stuff like that. You know, you drive along and you see these things, and they are, I mean, first of all, it's hideous. And the same people that support the amount and what do they do with the waste? The things burn. I mean, they seem like such a waste of time to me. I mean, I could see using the ocean water to, you know, get power better than a fucking windmill.
Yeah,
maybe I'm crazy, but I could see current, you know, doing that better. But then we'd probably stop the current up, you know, we'd chopping sharks up or, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, the birds that die in these things, all this stuff that happens in the middle, the same people will be out there, you know, hovering over an eagle egg, you know, and they'll, you know, be like, oh, but these windmills are saving everything. They don't give a damn about all the other birds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so
and the maintenance on them, they're like $10,000 a month just to do basic maintenance.
And they don't last that long.
No, but the other side effect that nobody talks about, and it's not really like a huge problem right now, but it will be the more they build, is these these windmills cause weather radars to see reflectivity above them because it's disturbing the airflow above it. So these radars looks like if there's a storm, and it's really not. So it kind of blinds us from seeing any kind of critical activity happening with inside a storm if there's severe weather moving your way. And to me, that's a public safety issue, but you know, whatever. What do I know?
All right, we really do have a very controversial caller calling in right now. Love the shit out of the guy. We have Officer Slim Shady Canes coming in. What is going on?
I'm anything but controversial. I'm anti-controversy.
How you doing, Slim? How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm off for the weekend, so I'm great.
All right. What do you think about all this craziness?
I mean, I don't doubt that some of this shit, like, I mean, the Bilderberg's been around forever and all that, but I wonder about at the end of the day, the effectiveness of it. Because, like he said, people like Bill Gates are involved. He's been trying to get people to eat crickets for 20 years, and they've told him to piss off.
Have you ever ate a?
No, never eaten a cricket.
I have eaten a cricket.
Bill Gates has accomplished a lot of things they want him to do. I mean, I don't know what planet you're on, Slim, but
I have eaten a cricket though. I used to work with these, in doing anyway. The Mexicans, they like to eat crickets, and they would give you like the ones covered in. I've only ate one time. It's not like I ate crickets. I ate cricket. I don't know if there is like a singular, but
Crick eye.
Crick eye. Crick eye. Okay.
Well, and I put it in the comments section too. I think a lot of this that y'all touched on is less conspiracy theory and more just outright money laundering schemes.
But that's
like,
a conspiracy.
That no, it's not. Everybody knows it.
Like a mattress store.
Conspiracy is two more people, conspiring to commit a crime. It's not.
Oh, well, is it conspiring to commit a crime, or is it just like you said?
Well, money laundering is a scam.
Well, yes, but taking advantage of a situation, not letting a crisis go to waste.
Which is committing a conspiracy.
I mean,
so Slim, would you go to Bohemian Grove?
And would you go with me?
Yeah, I'd party with those motherfuckers. Let's go, man.
No.
Oh, you guys are
No.
the boys are going to the woods.
So
I know.
KJ, you would not go to Bohemian Grove. Okay.
Dude, I would fucking live stream and set up a stream yard in the Bohemian Grove.
If it's a selling point, I like to be the outside spoon.
Mm-mm. Mommy likes to be on the inside, so I'm not gonna go.
I was talking to Slim. Though.
Yeah, either one's fine with me.
Let's do this.
Well, didn't they after
lighting up there, and the wrong one KJ was talking, and Baker was lighting up. Like, oh,
Yeah, no, I was about to say something.
Yeah.
when Alex Jones found the Bohemian Grove, didn't they move somewhere else anyway? Where'd they move to?
No, it's the same place.
Oh, is it? I thought they moved somewhere else.
It's more closely guarded. I mean,
Yeah, well,
they have
probably.
security details on the outside now.
I mean, how stealthy are you really being if Alex Jones found you? That's not exactly. I don't think when I see Alex Jones, I don't think stealthy individual.
Have you seen him lately?
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, when you quit drinking, but even he said himself, he's kind of retarded, and he found you.
Well, in 2000, Alex Jones wasn't as big as he is now.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Alex Jones, hell, he still had a comb over.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that. That's hilarious.
I've always liked Alex Jones. I mean, he got a really bad rap, and he was wrong on the Sandy Hook thing, and that. And what were you saying, Ellie? He only talked about it for how many minutes did he actually speak of Sandy Hook?
26 minutes on a show.
And all that happened because of 26 minutes.
Right.
And he wasn't even like giving his own idea on it. He was talking about a theory that somebody else had about it.
It was a caller that called into a show that it was all over the internet. It didn't originate with Alex Jones on his show. A caller called in and started talking about it, and he was like just kind of expanding on false flags and stuff like that. It was way blown out of proportion. They were just trying to take him off the air.
And that's far from the only one. Like, wasn't David Hogg supposedly in like 4 of these incidents? That was another theory running around out there.
Yeah, remember when he rode his bike to the place to be there? He wasn't even there when it started. He rode just to try to get footage, I think. I hate that little weasel. Him and that other, who's the other guy that's always on Twitter posting that stuff, that everybody makes fun of?
Oh,
the Krasenstein brothers?
No, he's talking about Harry something. I can't remember his last name.
Oh, yeah.
Harry Sisson.
Yeah, Harry Sisson. That's it. I mean, listen, I can kind of forgive him because isn't he like 20? I mean, by dint of being 20, you're a dumbass.
Well, yeah, but so was the Hogue kid. I mean, they were both, young and doing that nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous. Hey, old Joe, I see you back there. We'll bring you up here in just a minute, old Joe. I do see you there. Just wanted to recognize you and let you know that you're up next, old Joe. Yes, I mean, so like, what do you think about the Templars, Slim? Templar.
Listen,
Templar. Sorry, I gotta quit being a redneck. What about the Templar?
I think the same thing about them as I do about aliens. Like, there's enough shit out there about it. Like, it's got to be real. I think those are probably a bunch of evil fucks.
Okay. See, Slim doesn't hold back. I like that about Slim.
Thank you, Slim. Thanks.
He was some of the Templar, not the Masons.
Oh, how do you feel about those?
Yeah. What do you feel?
Well,
Freemasons.
I mean, if rumors are to be believed, they're one and the same, but it's just another theory out there.
See, I can't wait to do an episode of this all about the Knights Templar. That to me is going to be the best.
See, I don't think you want to get in the middle of that being Catholic.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I have nothing. I told this to Gutters too before. Like, being Catholic, I agree with the religion. The religion has been tainted many ways by human error. And
Did you eat fish today?
You can't take human error and just because humans mess something up, if you didn't like everything that humans messed up, you'd have nothing left. So that's kind of my take on it. And I think it's all your relationship with God anyway. Yeah. So, it's neither here nor there to me. Just because there was some weird people that did some weird shit, that happens in every religion, everything, everywhere around.
Go on and preach it, TF. Go on and preach it.
But,
well, actually, it's only two that I think have a weird religion, let's be honest. I think Catholic and Mormons are it, but
you don't think
and holy rollers.
What about the door knockers? Not the ones that you already said Mormons, not the ones that ride bikes, but I figured out the best way.
The Jehovah's
well,
Witnesses?
You could say or Pentecostal.
I think the holy, I think the J-dubs are too.
But if anybody, I mean, I have a lot of friends that are that. You know what I mean? So
I do
whatever
too.
their relationship is with
whatever.
their God.
I grew up with a friend that his mom was a Jehovah's Witness, and we made fun of him because he didn't get any Christmas presents.
Oh, my aunt.
Oh, they don't get birthday presents either.
I went to meetings. I mean, I can tell you. You want to talk about a boring church? Holy moly!
I figured out the best way to have them not come to your house. Now they come, it's always like a husband and a wife. And I've always just taken this, I just hit on the wife. Like, as soon as they show up at the door, I just start hitting on her. And they won't even come to my house. And when they drive right past it, because I'm like, well, so I'm like trying to get her number and stuff. And the guy's looking at me like he's going to kill me, And I'm like, they just don't come anymore.
Answer the door in his underwear. They leave.
Well, it's like when phone solicitors call. And, it's a woman calling you. And you just start hitting on them.
Yeah, I always ask them what they're wearing.
Yeah, exactly. You just start, well, you got a really sexy voice there, lady. What's going on?
What khakis are you wearing?
Right, what khakis? Yeah, exactly.
Well, considering most of them are now from Bangladesh or something, I ask them what color turban they're wearing.
Right. Do you smell like curry?
I do like curry.
I like curry too. What are you trying to say?
I hate curry. Mrs. Fools, she cooks with curry all the time, and I'm like, oh my God, open the window.
Where it will go into your clothes and you can never get it out. It's
Good.
like
Funny.
I want to bathe in it.
Well, hey, I don't want to keep old Joe waiting around too long. Slim, you got anything else to add? You got anything else to add to this, brother?
No, that's about it.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in. I'm not sure what we're doing next week, but tune back in. We're going to have a different cool topic every week. So, and I'd love to hear from you a lot because you always do have a hell of a take on everything. So,
all right.
Love you, Slim. Thanks
have a good
so much.
night.
All right. See you, brother. All right. There we go. Slim Shady Canes checking in with us. All right, so old Joe. Let's bring old Joe up there. You know who that is, Gutters?
Old Joe, I don't.
All right, well, let's bring old Joe up here and see what old Joe's got to say. Old Joe.
Hello, sir.
How you doing, brother? How you doing tonight, man?
Good. Thank you very much for bringing me up.
Yeah, man.
Just to
Thanks
keep my
for hanging on in there. You know, we're only set up to do 6 people, and you know, it keeps it so you can actually say what you want to say. You know what I mean? So, thanks so much.
No, that's no problem at all. I was enjoying the conversation. Just to keep my comments on track, you're kind of talking about like a conspiracy theory-ish theme, some misinformation. Am I on the right track here, so I don't stray off too?
Oh yes, sir. Yeah. You are exactly. So what do you think about it, old Joe? You know, tell us what you think. That's why we dropped this link, so you can come on here and tell us what you think.
I'll throw something out there quick, and then I'll drop down, and you guys can.
No, yeah. No rush. Do your thing.
So when you talk about things like you mentioned the windmills and how there's this concept of what they should be and what they represent, and then there's a reality of what they actually are. You mentioned they're killing a bunch of birds and they're not that efficient and they're not generating as much power as they're supposed to. Where I come from, we have a big push for electric cars. However, a lot of the power stations are fueled by coal-fired generators. So really, it doesn't seem like there's a lot being gained in terms of preserving fossil fuels. So the larger scenario seems to be, as of late, there seems to be almost a resistance to the pursuit of objective truth, to critical thinking. It seems to be that people who are willing to go against the narrative and speak about the things that you're speaking about, whether they do so at their place of employment or in public, are resisted by almost an invisible hand that's exceedingly powerful and exceedingly focused. And oftentimes, if you speak out against these things that don't make any sense, well, everybody sees that they don't make any sense. An example I would use personally, whether everybody agrees with me or not, I'm not sure, is some of the initiatives around C-19. Those people that speak out tend to suffer the consequences. So my point is, there seems to be a hidden force that is resisting people from critical thinking and from speaking the truth. And I was wondering what your panel thought about that.
Oh, I like this, Joe. Joe's coming in.
I like
here.
him
Great.
too.
I like this, Joe. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I'll go.
All right.
I absolutely agree with you. There seems to be a reason why people are trying to suppress voices and try to elevate others. You can see that in even American schools. I mean, I think they're dumbing down kids on purpose so that they just comply instead of ask questions and think for themselves. A lot of these people just kind of follow the herd. So I absolutely 100% agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, there is no exploration of ideas in school anymore. It's all that star testing and stuff like that. Basically, I have 2 kids that go to school. It's just they have this one test at the end of the year that they all have to pass. And it's just this very specific curriculum that they have to go through, math, reading, science. That's it. There's no discussing anything. It's just all robotic. There's no writing. They use tablets. It's just, these kids don't learn anything in there. Everything my son learns is by the books I buy him to read. And you just promote reading with your kids. That's on you as a parent. You can't leave it up to the school because they're not going to do it.
No.
Well, and they're restricted as teachers. They're restricted at what they can and can't do anymore.
Well, and that's in some places they are, in some places they aren't, but it's like a flip-flop of what they're restricted from doing. So some places they're allowed to do this ludicrous shit, and in other places they're not allowed to be normal. So
Right.
it's like, oh, here you go, read this. We've got pride flags in kindergarten things and stuff like that. It's like nobody needs to know about that. You should send your kids to school. It's amazing, like doing these trivia things and all that. Like, it amazes me. You see these young people come in and you ask these questions that, I mean, we would have known when we were in 5th grade, 4th grade, and you'll see these, and they're college students, and they come in and they're like, how do you not know who the 2nd president of the United States was? How do you not know who, these basic, how do you not know the first element, the atomic number 1 on the periodic table of elements? How do you not know these, basic things that
states
we
there are?
learn? Do
So
I?
if I could just touch on what you said there, traveling fools, because you mentioned the school system, and when I'm talking about not just a not teaching of the truth, but an actual obscuring of it. So one example that I know happens is that in our schools, very young children, preteens, are given the decision to make very, very serious, life-changing decisions, and these things are hidden from parents by the system.
And that's
And-
absolutely
I know.
repulsive.
That's
And
repulsive as hell.
And so this is an example of what I'm talking about when I say the system itself, something very base and deep in the system, is trying to prevent people from finding out what's actually going on, even in their own families. And then if you try too hard to find out, you're labeled as either any kind of invective, a bigot, a homophobe,
A
you name
bigot.
it.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, Joe. Are you in Canada?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, I can tell by the accent. So no offense there, but I can just tell by the accent. So in Canada, like growing up, or just not growing up, but going through this, it's probably a little different. I mean, you basically have had the last 7-8 years under Fidel Castro's kids' reign, right?
Yeah, he was an out and out. It's very difficult to have a conversation without sounding like some sort of a heretic, but that man was an out and out liar. He wouldn't answer any questions at all. If you watch what happens in our parliament, our opposition party questions our prime minister. And once again, it goes back to this theme of, if they asked him a question, whatever came out of his mouth had nothing to do with the question, and nobody ever knew what the truth of the matter was. So as we descend further down this rabbit hole, which is the conspiracy theory, what I wonder is this just is this just a natural ebb and flow of our culture? Or if you're more religious, are we looking at the face of evil? Is there some mind behind this? And it seems to be, my take is that whatever this force is that's dumbing us down seems to be way too effective just to be happening by chance. But I could be wrong.
Well,
Right. Go ahead, LW.
I was going to say, no, I agree. It's
Yeah.
kind of like everything we've talked about tonight. I think it all has something to do with it. And as far as dumbing down the people, I mean, I'm sure it's the same way in Canada as it is here in America. But the news, like the cable news and then the ABC, NBC, all their number one advertisers, the number one is pharmaceutical companies, and number two is war contractors, people who build the bombs. So if you say, back in the day, it used to be, even in the 70s, they used to question pharmaceutical companies and they used to question war and stuff like that, but they've bought off the news. So, the information, I mean, what they did to Joe Rogan on CNN was insane. When he did an Instagram post and CNN took it and they made his skin yellow, they filtered it.
That was crazy.
They do it with Trump on his orange skin too. They make him look more orange.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's clear as day propaganda to change people's minds,
Operation Mockingbird.
Oh, 100%.
It's so much deeper than that, though. That's all like superficial shit. That's what kind of scared me as I went through all this stuff, is how it's so deeply woven within for centuries. I mean, I see a lot of evil and not as much good as time goes on. Like when I talked about the white and the black and how that was the whole balance and the yin and yang, and
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say gutters, back off.
But I think it's starting to not be quite a balance. Let's just put it that way. I think there's a little more black than there is white in the sense of dark and light. And I think that,
Well, so let me ask Joe this. So in Canada, is it like so in the United States, there's states' rights, and different states do different things. Things are decided by states. Is that the same way, like in provinces in Canada, or is it like? Because I really don't know a lot about Canadian politics.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. There are different jurisdictions, so I'll just briefly go over how I think that our system is different than yours. We have a number of provinces and territories. So the provincial governments would be, for example, responsible for education. The federal government would be responsible for healthcare. How our system works differently at the federal government level is that a prime minister, once he has a majority in parliament, can pass virtually any bill that he wants. So he'll put a bill forward federally, and then all of his MPs have to vote for it or they're kicked out of the party. So two-part answer. Yes, there are different jurisdictions, different areas are handled by either federal or provincial and some municipal. But the federal government does have a tremendous amount of power. And the prime minister, if he holds a majority, he doesn't have to worry about clearing his bills through a Senate or a House or anything like that. He just says what happens and it happens.
Yeah,
that's
the
the difference.
checks and balances.
So the last piece I'm going to say, and then I'll drop down, and hey, fabulous discussion, is that it seems like whatever.
No, and we'll keep you here for a minute longer if you'd like. You don't have to rush off. We don't have anybody. If anybody else would like to call in and give their thoughts, you're more than welcome. We just open this up at the end if people would like to. There's nobody waiting behind you. So, I do have a couple more questions if you're not in a hurry. So,
yeah, no problem.
Okay.
The one thing that I think is important about this, whatever I would call this force, and I think it's gutterspub there. My eyes are bad. Mentioned that there's more black. I'm actually considering that there is an actual evil at work here. Whatever it is, seems to be trying very hard to attack the nuclear family, mothers and fathers. And I think that we can probably all agree, maybe not, but people without strong families are a lot easier to influence and control with a narrative. So that seems to me to be a highly effective way to cripple any resistance you might have to an agenda or a motive that might be going on behind the scenes.
And I would agree with that.
Wow.
I hate
So
the attack
true.
on the nuclear family.
Well, it's
Like-
your kids are so vulnerable. It's
Go ahead,
it's not
Kate.
even. Yeah, I mean, kids are so vulnerable. That's 100%. I agree, and I think that's your open door, and that's for any type of bad thing or evil or whatever. Whether it's child, things that happen to kids or whatever. When kids are more vulnerable, everything's possible. So I think that's 100%.
And there, sorry, go ahead.
No, you
Bobby.
go ahead. You go ahead. bud.
Yeah, all I was going to say real fast was I think parents should be more aware of things like that when they're doing that. I mean, kids are like Katie said, KJ says, they're very vulnerable and parents, when you drop your child off at a institution like a school system, you are giving them to that person. That child is now being influenced 100% by this person. And that child looks at this person like this authority figure and they take it in. So everything that person says is being like, I mean, it's
power.
That's so power. Influential to them. They can sit there and do this to these children. And I mean, that is so scary. I mean, I'm so glad I grew up going to Catholic schools and doing the whole thing and getting just an education. Like that's what you're supposed to get. They're supposed to go there and teach your kids how to read, what science is, what history, these basic things. And now, like I said, doing these trivia shows, stuff like that. And you see these young people and they don't know fucking anything. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, the homeschool community, which I'm not a part of, but I know people that are, has grown so much. Like now they're even able to be a part of different schools, whether it's a sport or whatever. They have like this homeschool thing that they can be a part of the school system. However, they're it's So that's why. It's because kids are so vulnerable and things are not being taught appropriately. And
I mean, I hate to say it. Like, if you walked into a school and it was decorated for Pride Month or for like what would you like? Okay, let's start with LW. LW, you go to drop your daughter off at school, and the whole classroom is decorated for Pride Month. And you know, I'm not going to give your daughter's age, but she's young. You know what I mean? So you're talking lower elementary. If you walked in there and did that, like, and saw that in the classroom, what would you think?
I'd turn around and walk out. I mean, that's just propaganda. That's, you know, there's an obvious. I mean, well, gutters will like probably do some illegal things, but I would just, I'm out of there. You know, that's obvious propaganda, and they have a goal to teach my kid one specific thing, and I'm out of there. Luckily, I'm in Texas, or so I don't have to worry about that. I actually have a really good school district. They actually, if at my son's high school, I believe they fired a teacher because they tried to teach the kids that their opinion was right about politics. Like they were pushing like one point of view, and they found out about it. They're like, "You're out of here. This isn't your job to and you know, make children believe what you believe. You're supposed to teach the children, have open discussion, but you're not supposed to, you know, force them to. You're not there to convince them to believe like you do. You know what I'm saying?" So I actually have a great
100%.
school district.
It's an indoctrination.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the word.
Exactly.
So what would you do, Gutters, if you walked in there and you were taking, you know, your children are older, but so your granddaughter or, you know, grandson, you know, whatever, and you walked in there and saw that, what would you do?
Oh, I'm sure I would end up in jail, to tell you the truth. I'm sure it wouldn't be pretty. I'm serious. I'm totally against it. Actually, here in Oregon, they have a day that the kids can be silent all day long, and it's in support for Pride Month. And all day, all the kids walk around the school and don't say a word. How much do you think they're learning?
It's like heaven.
Yeah, it's like heaven. But how much do you
The
really think
Baker's
they're
about
learning?
to invite LW to go camping again.
Is that serious?
I do not pay these guys to get the day off with these kids walking around not able. Yeah, they have, it's an entire day. Oh, I literally lost a friend over it because her daughter helped get it together. They were in elementary school. She was in 5th grade, and she was in middle school. She was in 6th grade, and she helped get it going. And I had commented on Facebook about it, and oh my God, she come uncorked on me and told me we were done as friends and the whole bit. My daughter worked hard on this, and I just
so
disagreed.
disturbing. Yeah. No, that's.
Yeah.
What about you,
okay.
TJ? How would you feel about that?
About me?
Yeah, how would you feel about it if you
Oh.
dropped your...
That wouldn't happen. I mean, I'm very, very blessed. I live in a different community. We don't deal with that. If I did, if I had to, I'd homeschool, you know?
Yeah.
Right. So, KJ, you wouldn't drop your kid off if that was the decoration in the classroom, right?
No, 100. I mean, that just, well, yeah, 100%.
Baker, what about you?
I mean, honestly, given that I don't have any children, I see the indoctrination happening with my own eyes, and it makes me feel bad for other people because in some cases, and yes, a lot of this is a teacher's fault, but in some cases, some school districts force these teachers to do it, and these teachers are
That's probably true. Yeah.
contracted for the year, and if they don't finish the year, you know, they get pretty much blackballed from going to a different district. But I think the teachers are just as much held hostage, and they don't want to do it. They just have to do it just to get their paycheck. And I hate to say they gave up like that, but it is what it is. And man, Joe, I appreciate you bringing up these topics because this is fantastic discussion. I mean,
this is
kind of like, and I've got this roundabout thing that I'm going to right here too. So Joe, like if you sound like you're probably yeah, maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe you're, 22, but you sound like you're probably retired or something like that. Am I correct, sir?
Not quite retired. Sure wish I was, but
But
no.
getting to
Close
that
to it,
point,
though.
but getting to that point though, yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah, you're not 20 years old. You're
No.
late 50s, early 60s, somewhere in there, right?
Early 50s.
Okay, yeah. So right, so somewhere in there, right. But you wouldn't. I mean, have you ever had to deal with that there?
Yeah, so I'll just take you through that. Not only do we have to, but it's very common. In fact, funny enough, right now is Pride Month here. I don't know if it's Pride Month all over the world, but
Yes,
the schools
Yeah,
the schools that get any public funding will get it pulled if they don't celebrate
That is insane.
Pride
that's
Month.
crazy.
And here's my issue. It's not that I ever want to see anybody, and I think that we would probably agree on the panel. We don't want to see anybody bullied or hurt because of who they are. But this
right, and I'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
I'll cover that in a moment.
When we take it to the larger issue, what's pushed in our schools, it comes along with Pride Month, is that there is this collectivist mindset. So we're not individuals. You're a member of the LGBT community, or you're a member of the Black community, or you're a member of the Sikh community. It's a collective way of thinking rather than honoring a person for who they are as an individual, which I think is another way of breaking down individual resistance to a common control that might be going on behind the scenes.
I mean, this is just another form of segregation, if you ask me. I mean, humans in general, since we've developed, our minds have developed, we've always been tribalistic, and this is no different. So, I mean, you're hitting the nail right on the head, Joe.
Yeah, and if you can convince people that rather than looking at another human being, you're looking at a member of a different group than you, then it becomes very easy to other people. When I say other people, I mean to motivate one group against another, to cause dissension, to cause strife, like we see going on some of the riots, I guess, in your country. I'm not 100% sure what's going on down there, but that's kind of my take on it, is this collectivist philosophy that drives, and it's really bad in the education system. Like in our universities, I think the number is something like 20 or 30% of professors are open declared Marxists. And then there'll be a whole bunch of them under the scenes that don't admit they are. But this infuses itself into our education system, where you get the result you see. Like, so yes, the Pride Month is a very, very big part of the Canadian education system. It's very, the sidewalks are painted in Pride rainbow colors. I mean, it's a very big deal.
And I think, like, all the stuff we talked about tonight, the 4 or 5 topics, and just the propaganda in general, and the 1% does not want the 99% mad at what they're doing, right? So they create these social contagions for us to fight with each other about. And that's what a lot of this is. Like Baker said, with Mockingbird Media and stuff like that, is to keep us fighting with each other, to not look at the 1% who's doing all the fucked up things, right? And
to spread a narrative that,
right,
that, like, I'll go back, and I'm trying really hard not to violate TOS, so I'll use the term C19. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
I don't even know what that means, but
so we're talking about the scenario where everybody was encouraged to get the jab.
Oh, the Kung flu.
Yeah. Okay. So we were told that the people that were not, like, I almost got fired over not getting, and I didn't. In the end, at the beginning, I was willing to get this thing, and then I thought something doesn't make sense here. And the more I checked into it, the more resistance I got. Like, I got told I wanted to kill grandma and that I was selfish, but all I really was doing was looking at the data. So what we were told in our media was that there were a few fringe people, that like 98% of the people in our country had decided to participate in the inoculation, and there were a few fringe people that had not. And when it turned out, we actually had a truckers rally here that was massive. I mean, it went all the way across the country and caused a change in legislation. So basically, the point is, once again, the information that was being fed to us through official streams was entirely inaccurate. There were thousands and thousands of people that did not agree with this government initiative, but they made it out as if there were very few people. So this is kind of the same thing with some of the initiatives we've talked about.
Now, real quick, to butt in, I have a question. Now, was that a mandate across all of Canada, or was it like, region to region, or you call them, provinces, or you know what I mean? As an ignorant American, I'm just asking.
Yeah. So, and I may have said there are provincial health authorities. So I may have told you that the federal government is responsible for healthcare. They do provide federal healthcare funding, I believe, but each province could make separate decisions on what. And I want to give you the right information on healthcare, so I'll be careful about what I say. But each province could make its own individual decisions on lockdowns, and there were across the country lockdowns where, like, I couldn't go celebrate Christmas with my family if I hadn't taken the vaccination. You couldn't go visit relatives, and slowly, one province at a time began to lift these things.
But how did they keep you from doing it?
Well, you would have to be. They set up snitch lines and stuff, so you'd have to be turned in by somebody, right? If you showed up, and it was, to be honest, it was kind of a. I never participated in it, but it was kind of a neat time. Like, there were people setting up speakeasies and everything who would go, and you couldn't go to a restaurant, you couldn't go to a pub, you were only allowed to go shopping. Basically, you couldn't go outside. In some cases, they wouldn't let you go to parks. So if you got caught, then you could face a fine. And there were a number of people who did set up private gatherings that were caught and were fined.
I mean, that's so crazy. It's like having a speakeasy so you can talk to your friends and have a beer. It was weird. I look back at that, and I know, people did die of it, so I'm not being like, unsympathetic to that thing, but I miss it. Because like where I live and stuff like that, nothing changed. I mean, we traveled more during COVID, not internationally, of course, but, in the United States, Southeast United States, it was a blast.
Yeah, but I live in the same place, and we weren't able to do that. So it depended on where you lived.
What do you mean you weren't able to do that? You get on the plane. We were flying to Miami every other weekend and going down there for $34 a trip and going back, hanging out at the beach for the weekend because the hotels were nothing.
Well, one thing I will tell you that they did in Canada was they shut all our schools down entirely for almost 2 years. They sent all the students home, and they had them trying to learn on a computer.
I mean, in our city, we were shut down. I mean, my son missed a whole year of his schooling.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
Big. Oh, one thing really quick, just to get back to circle around there. The point I was going to make before we go on this topic is, as far as the pride stuff, I have nothing against it, and I have friends who are
and I don't either. Please,
and things like that. And I do want to say
that's
that
not the issue.
Well, right. My point is, there's no point. Why is that even a thing in elementary schools?
Right.
Why is that? You have to be perverted in just to even start out thinking that should be a part of something. That is an adult problem, not a youth problem. Let these kids just be fucking kids. Let them grow up and do their things. Teach them science. Teach them how to read. Hey, see spot run. That's what you're supposed to be
a school thing at all.
It should not. It's so weird.
Parents are supposed to be raising their kids, not these teachers.
Parents almost control the school system in so many places, though.
Yeah,
like
so
it's the parents that raise hell.
I didn't want anybody out there thinking we were bashing, the gays.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Well, there's actually no.
Mirror the queer, LW. I just gave you the football.
Hey, that's me. Hi, guys. No, but there's actually numbers to back that up. Like in 2020, when they sent a bunch of kids home for 3 months, or some places half a year, year and a half, there's actually numbers to back it up. One, it was very rare for like the trans stuff, very, very rare. And it was 4 to 1 boys. It was rarely girls. And then during 2020, there's this big movement of there were shows on Netflix, there were shows on TV, YouTube, all this stuff like that. And that number went from 4-to-1 boys to girl to 4-to-4. I know somebody who's a teacher, they had 14 girls in their class that came in and said that they were trans when they came back to school. 14. Now, that's statistically impossible, right?
Yes, 100%.
Because what they sold it was to all these kids going through puberty, like, oh, you feel weird, you know? Well, the reason you feel weird is because you should be over here in this party, in this group, in this flag and stuff like that. And just by being a part of that, you're automatically a great person. You're automatically brave. You're automatically this, that, or the other.
Right.
And so these awkward ass kids, they went to that to feel accepted because it's total.
Everyone wants to feel
evil.
accepted.
It's total. Yeah, exactly. They took advantage of it.
And everyone's uncomfortable in their own skin. Like, for fuck's sake.
This is a great example of what I'm talking
Well,
about.
I've never felt that, but I mean,
I have.
All of you meager people, I can understand.
But what I am wondering is about the effectiveness of this strategy. About we've already talked about cutting children off from their nuclear families, which actually care about them, and then B, we offer this other option for belonging. Here's where acceptance and belonging lie.
Yeah,
it's not your family; it's this other option that we as a system are providing, and this is exactly how cults operate. This is how they get people into their. So it seems to be the scary part for me, and I'm glad you're having this conversation, is that I don't know if this is random. There seems to be some purpose and intelligence.
No, there's 100% purpose. I totally believe that.
It doesn't make sense. There's no reason why adults should be, and there at what age should this happen? One thing, you remember Homie the Clown, Homie Don't Play That Game.
Homie Don't Play That.
One of the things I will not play into and I will not accept is the trans thing. But if you want to be, I'm not going to be an asshole to somebody, for anything. If you're an adult and you want to chop your wiener off, go do it. I really don't care. Don't tell me about it. Stay the fuck away from me. I really don't want. You're insane, and that's just that. Somebody who wants to be gay, I don't understand it, but whatever. I'm still going to be friends with you. You're probably a really good person in other way. You know what I mean? I don't care. And most of those people you meet from our generation who are those. They don't like the trans thing either. They're 100%. Like, no, we don't want anything to do with this. This is ludicrous. And now they're bunching this whole group together and making it like it's the LGBT and Lord knows I don't understand trans thing. It's like, well, that's a trans male. Well, is that a dude or a girl? I don't know. Well, no, it's a trans female.
It's like, no, the gay girls I know, they're like, we just want to be gay chicks. We don't want to be dudes.
That's the same thing with Tim Dillon, the comedian that is absolutely hilarious. He's like, I'm just gay. Do I have to really do all this weird shit?
Right.
But Hollywood's in on it too. It just doesn't. None of it supports logic or statistical probability. When Megan Fox has 3 children and they're all trans.
Come on.
There's no way.
I don't think so.
Jamie,
they're children. Literally, my son once I mean, please, he's 4. Like, give me a break. He'll do whatever anyone says. Like, it's stupid.
So, hey, folks, I have to jump down because I got work to do in the morning. I'd just like to finish by saying one thing. I almost lost my job. I lost a ton of friends going through that C-19 thing. When I knew that the correct decision for me was not to get the jab, I stuck with it, and I stuck with the truth. And I think this conversations like you guys are having, not in organized media or legacy media, but right here in little places, keep people understanding that there is an objective reality out there and not give up on the truth. So thank you very much for having this conversation. Thanks for having me up.
Hey, Joe, really appreciate you coming up. Please come back. We got any topic you'd like us to cover? You got anything that you would like to see us cover? Because we want to hit on some fun things.
Yeah, I'll think about it and I'll come in and put it in the comments because you're a good group. You're open minded. So yeah, let me come back one of these days and I'll type some stuff in when I've had a chance to think.
You're welcome anytime, my friend. You're welcome anytime, and I really appreciate you coming up.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, brother.
For sure, come back. Awesome caller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Joe.
So cool.
Joe is pretty awesome. Yeah, that's an interesting topic. I know we got a little bit sideways there. We went down that road, but that is a very interesting topic.
I mean, that's
find another layout here.
That's the beauty of freedom of speech,
sorry,
right?
shit.
We all discuss our topics. We all discuss our beliefs. We all kind of amongst each other explain why I feel this way, you feel this way, and then we have an educated discussion about it, and then we move forward. We don't you guys don't judge me for that. You judge me for plenty of other things, but none of my beliefs or anything like that. It's not like that. But the attack on the nuclear family, like he was bringing up, is absolutely true. And I feel like it, again, starts with some of these, secret societies we talked about tonight, how, they've inflated the monetary system to the point where if you want to afford these things that your grandparents or, your great-grandparents afforded, you have to have a 2-income family. It's just how it is. And then once they started going down that path, then the government says, oh, don't you worry. The schools will take care of your kids. And then the government slipped in and started saying, hey, by the way, we're going to demasculine all the guys here. We're going to get rid of all this locker room speak. We're going to get rid of all this, talk of, bullying. We're going to get rid of all that. And I mean, really, that's the attack that he was bringing up on the nuclear family. I mean, that's really kind of where I feel like it started. That's just my own opinion. But again, great calls, great insight, and great points. And I'm glad that we get to hear some insights from our neighbors up north, because I can tell you that in my state, I had similar experiences with everything what he was saying. I had very similar experiences here.
Yeah.
Well, that's the fun part. Like,
Sure.
I think most of us probably agree on most things, but just knowing like Traveling Fools and Gutters Pub, we've disagreed on some stuff like that, and that's totally fine. But there's some people, and particularly on one side, you can just hear their view on one thing, like the topic we were just talking about, and you can already lay out what they believe about everything. It's predictable, right? There's no deviation from that kind of religion they have. They believe this, and it's 100% predictable. There's no, whereas Gigi and I can argue back and forth about a bunch of topics, It's just not normal for everybody to agree on everything, right? But
You are an
agree on
absolute.
everything.
Yeah, anybody who agrees with everybody on everything is an absolute phony.
That's
You
an echo
can't
chamber
have
at
the
that point.
exact same thoughts as everybody. And that's what makes everything cool, is to be able to sit here and have conversations that, LW and I might not agree totally on this. Gutters and I, probably agree on, a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But we disagree on this. KJ, I mean, I know you, probably have hated many of the things that I've said in my life, Baker, Baker's audio is horrible, so I always want to disagree with him on that. But all of us do not always agree on everything, and I like that. I hate these echo chambers of people who just agree on fucking everything. Like, open your minds, people.
Yeah, have your own opinion for sure.
Yeah. I know Greta Thunberg has somebody like that.
She has look like a thumb, doesn't she?
She has the same thought. You already know what she thinks about, obviously, climate change, but
how dare you?
The Middle East.
How dare you?
the vaccines or whatever it is, right down the list. Everything she already believes. You don't even have to ask her, right?
She does look like a thumb.
Would you nail her?
Ugh.
My gosh.
Well, you said thumbnail. I don't know.
Jeez.
And he's like, oh, God.
Yeah, see, you don't agree with me on things, so but I still didn't get an answer.
What did you say?
Moving on.
My
moving on.
audio was
Say too
missing. I
offensive.
didn't
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
it.
Don't say
Baker's
too
bad
offensive.
audio. He said yes. He cut out there for a minute.
No, I didn't.
I thought I heard him say to a fence post.
Right.
How dare you?
How dare you? You should be in school.
You've taken away our
Oh my
future.
God. You know, you look back at, and I think we found more sanity in this world recently. Like, look back at when did all that happen? That was what, like 2018, 17, right? Or I don't know. Years
it
run
that
together.
long
You start
ago?
getting older.
I know. Shh.
No.
Shush.
Well, it's actually been proven by Google
That was-
data, and that in 2012, when Obama won his second election, none of these things were topics. They didn't even really
Thank you.
register.
Sorry,
didn't really-
but
They didn't
thank you.
register on searches or Google Trends or anything like that, like trans and racism and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's just the Google Trend 2012. It just shoots up and it just goes all the way up until 2025 where we are. So it's all created. You know, it's all manufactured.
Right.
And that was my point earlier.
Yeah.
Is
Go
that
ahead.
the 1% is trying to make us 99% fight with each other, so we don't pay
Yes.
attention to what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, so
100%.
who is that top person at the 1%?
Oh, the Bill Gates, the corporations, the government,
The one. No.
the
Those are
1%.
all-
Listen, if
Wow.
if everybody got along and lived in peace and tranquility, you would not need a government.
Hmm?
Correct.
I don't understand. What was your point, Gutters?
No, Gutters,
You-
what were
you were
about to
talking
say? 'Cause I
about
feel
this
like
is
you were
all
about to say
planned, and
the-
this is-
yeah. I
It's-
agree.
It's way up above government.
agree.
It's way up above that. There's a family, I'm telling you. And that's where it all trickles down from. You can call me the Q girl or whatever you
No,
want.
that doesn't have anything to do with Q, but they're in the 1% as well. that's what I'm
Who?
including.
Now I want to know.
Yeah.
They are the one, I'm telling you.
It's the QAnon pub.
Right.
I want to. I don't know.
Is it
I
the
wanna
same
know.
people that have control over centralized banks around the world?
Correct.
Don't go Rothschild on me now.
I'm just saying.
I see where you're going
Serious.
with this.
Look
But we
at
like
it.
right here, we actually agree, Gutters and I. She's just trying to find a reason to fight, but I'm better than that. So I just tell her she's right. And and
Good boy.
Percocet Patty can be happy.
Wow,
Bills, damn it.
dude.
This was great discussions. This was
Oh
great.
man, sorry, I was just joking. I gotta mute.
Yeah.
You never know what's
No,
going to
this
happen
was
here,
really
folks. You
good
never know.
tonight. Seriously.
No, it was fun.
That was
I had a
super
really good
cool.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in there. But we do all know that deep down we all are everybody here, all Americans,
All of us.
Mhm.
and we love everybody.
Even the Canadians.
Unless you have bad audio, you're down at the bottom of my list.
Yeah, I kind of like the what did we come up with earlier? It was the
The audios.
The audio snobcast, or
LW had a whistle.
yeah, LW. He's always got that whistle.
He had like this.
No, that's just his wisp.
I was gonna. Now I have to tinkle.
Oh, jeez.
tell me you're
That was a
old without
joke.
saying you're old.
Oh my gosh, I'm not old.
You're 39, just like the rest of us.
That's right.
That's not old.
39 is not old.
It's not.
Well,
All
should
right.
we-
Well,
should we end this
anybody
on
else
that?
got anything else to add to the conversation? What do we think?
I think
I
we
think it
ended
was-
on a high note.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
a great show. I had a blast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. What do you think, KJ? Or are you tinkling?
She's tinkling.
Yeah,
She straight up
tinkling.
is.
Yeah. All right. We'll wait a minute. We got to wait till everybody gets back. But
All right, we gotta wait on Tinkle Tammy.
on Tinkle Toes.
Oh man, that was fun. I liked old Joe. I liked old Joe, and thanks to
I
Slim
did
Shady
too.
Canes for calling in too. That
Yep.
that was super cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Gutters, what do you got coming up this week?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know.
When are you doing your Tuesday night politics
Oh,
stream? Or
always
what?
Tuesday and Friday.
Tell everybody about that. I mean, we do have 104 people watching right now, so let them know what you're doing.
Yeah. Tuesday night, of course. 7 p.m. Real time, Pacific time, and 10 p.m.
Gutters audio has somehow gone to shit.
No, it has not.
Yes, it has. But either way, tell everybody where they can hear your bad audio at.
Reverb. Oh God.
All right, it's time to end the show.
Yeah, this is going down a bad road.
You asked for it. So, anyways, on Tuesdays, 7:30, and then on Friday mornings, coffee time. We usually do about 9:30, and yeah, and then of course here on Friday night, until Fools fires me.
Yeah, exactly. Fix that audio, or I'm gonna be pissed off.
What do you?
Yeah, exactly. It sucks. Somebody, if you don't mind, type in Gutters into the chat over here on Traveling Fools. If you are over on Twitter, please, or X, whatever we want to call it these days, come over here. Make sure you go sub up Gutters Pub. We've lost KJ, so I think that her shit probably died. I think it's a good time to wrap it up. Baker, you got any last words, brother?
Oh man, I appreciate you guys letting me come on again. I got a lot of travel coming up, so gonna be out for a few weeks. But I appreciate you guys having me on again. This was fun. I really enjoyed talking about these topics.
I like it. I like look KJ come back with us. I bet she just lost her audio.
Oh yeah, she looks like it's about to hit. Yep.
Yeah, she's pissed off. She's like,
Sign language.
yeah, she'll flick us off. It's gonna be
Here, I
that
heard her talk.
LW, what do you got coming up?
Oh, I don't know. I might go live tomorrow night, but I'm going to try to do Monday night around 9 to 10 o'clock. Anybody can sub up and go over there and check it out. We might continue some of this discussion over there on Monday night, so that might be fun.
Yeah, if anybody in the, I can probably do it myself. I say that I'm on here right now. And type in LW. There you go. Let's see if that works. Nightbot should drop that there for LW. If not, if any of the mods could drop LW's channel, Gutters Pub channel. I'd like KJ's channel to get dropped too there if that's possible. People sub these people up. These people are going out here, doing research, doing the fun stuff. Please go in there. KJ, you back with us? Yeah, she can't hear us. She lost audio.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Oh, God, here we are with a Verizon commercial. What's up?
Say reverb.
Yeah, reverb. She can't hear us. I typed in LW. That didn't happen. Somebody drop those links. That would be super cool. Everybody go. There you go. Nightbot did do that. Thank you, Nightbot. KJ Gutters putting that in there. Thank you, Gutters. And so LW, make sure, maybe tomorrow night, something cool. And Gutters Tuesdays, always Fridays Coffee Club, this show. And we've got, make sure everybody does tune in Sunday night. We're coming back. I know we had to miss last week. I was super busy, but the absolute best trivia night you could ever imagine. Interactive chat trivia right over here. It's not cheesy shit. It's really fun. And the prizes given away, stuff like that. Faster you answer, the better off you are. We very competitive chat trivia going on over here, and make sure you're there. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. Anybody got any last words?
I am trying to get KJ's channel pulled up.
I'm good.
And then
It was a fun show. If anybody listening was interested in it, any of these topics, you can go back and listen or and go Google and watch some videos on this stuff. It really gets interesting. We only kind of took a short dive into it, but it's interesting stuff to look into.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun.
I can't wait to do the episode on the Knights Templar. And I want to do an episode on the coming up soon on the Ark of the Covenant, what happened to it, where it went, and stuff like that. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up for you guys.
The Freemasons, I mean, if we all dug into a piece of, there's so much to it. I'm telling you, it just rattles off into 500 million different. I mean, it's just crazy how many ways it goes.
Yeah, I think my topic was probably the only one that is kind of pretty straightforward, and a lot of y'all's topics there could probably be a show for each of y'all's topics that y'all had.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to keep this going. I can't wait for Halloween. We're going to do Ghost to Ghost on Halloween.
Ghost
to Ghost is going to come up on Halloween. That is definitely going. Big shout out to Art Bell, R.I.P., my hero. The only reason I even ever wanted to do any of this is because of him. So big shout out to him. And all right, with that being said, if anybody doesn't have any last words, we're going to get out of here, folks. Everybody have a great night, and we'll take you out with something, I don't know, something crazy. Here you go. Later on, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be right here. See you then.